Yo, what's up, buddy? What's up, man? How are you? Hey, what's up? It's great to see you. How's it going? What's up, man? How are you? Okay. Great. We're going to talk about Good morning, everyone. How's it going? How's it sound? You guys hear me all right?
I got a few tricks up my sleeve. I got some more cool shit coming. I'll tell you about.
Well, you may well do. Everybody does. But,
yeah.
You know,
no, I have more than most. I'm the founder of a $50 billion cryptocurrency. I have more than most.
Yeah, you can brag about that. I mean, that's fine.
So this idea that you can make absolutely insane, amazing changes in the world by just turning the right screws, but knowing where those screws are, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So it gets framed, you made too much money for too little work. But in fact, it's the opposite. Making a lot of money with little work means you have little overhead, which means you have little negative price externality. Look at Zcash. Zcash price is doomed and has been doomed for years. Why? Because they got a building of 80 guys doing something.
I still prefer maximally effective on-ramping. I still don't like ads that don't work. And most ads do not work. I don't think billboards work. I don't think sports advertising works. I don't think race cars work. I got some other tricks I ain't gonna tell you about. I'm gonna let them shoot themselves in the foot first so they can't counteract the counterplay. But like, I see things going wrong in the news so much, it makes me want to grit my teeth.
You must have no expectation of profit from the work of others. I'm just telling you what I see on chain. So it seems like whatever may control the sacrifice keys is a fiat stablecoin maximalist, except for Hex. It has a lot of Hex, it has a lot of stablecoin.
Sin.
How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect.
I think the green room has its own controls. How's everybody doing? Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. And Sin, it's been a while. I'm wondering what you've been up to.
Yeah, man. It's been a while. Lots of things, I guess. PulseChain is finally, pumping a little bit. So we already got that small relief rally, right? At least for the time being. Let's see. Depends on Bitcoin, Ethereum, all that. But I've been doing great, man. Been doing great. Bought some more PulseChain altcoins. Been still filling the bags. And yeah, just waiting for the pump to commence.
Awesome, man. Great to hear. I got one more video I'm going to play for you guys. Check it out. You guys have probably seen this one before. Let's play it for him. Oh.
In the sacrifice sets were probably hexagons to start with, or otherwise just new of me. I mean, my gut feeling is that the most liquid coin, at least at the start on the PulseChain network, would probably be Hex, or maybe Pulse, or maybe PulseX. One of these three, right? Because they're kind of tied to me, because I founded them. And then these other, so I know people that are like, or I've heard of people that are like grouping up ERC20s while I'm bearish on the market as a whole. Well, I don't understand that. Like, how long do you want me to be bearish? I believe in the 85% dip, guys. I think Ethereum will drop 85%. I think Bitcoin will drop 85% from their highs. I think Bitcoin will go down to 11,000. I don't know why you would be long those things. So, I think Hex is amazing. I think PulseX is amazing. I think PulseChain is amazing. We'll see how the incentive token does. Hopefully it does well. It's the LP reward incentive token. And so I wouldn't, for me, like if you have, I don't know why you would accumulate an ERC20 in the hopes of getting your PRC20 without knowing that someone wants to buy that PRC20. I would want to see liquidity, right? So I would go on the testnet and look for activity and be like, what ERC20s are people using? And for instance, like we had a lot of SHIB sacrifices. And so I know we had like $3 million of SHIB sacrifice. Okay, well, I know that at least those guys, some part of their community, knows about what's happening and therefore is more likely to participate and maybe add liquidity. And therefore, I would feel more certain that PRC20 might have more value than other ERC20s. And so I think like if you're trying to like, I don't want people to get wrecked holding ERC20s when I'm bearish on Ethereum and ERC20s in general to wait for their PulseChain copies when like you could, I don't want to give trading advice.
I have a solution.
Good one. Very good one.
Yes, sir. Let's go back to where we at.
Very good one, because that goes back to what to our discussion the last time, because I still argue the same, which is he did not sell his DAI, right? Richard Hart did not sell his DAI for it, at the best time, right? So although he's arguing for people not to get wrecked, he did precisely that, right? That's exactly what he did.
Might have got to turn around a little bit. It's a weird cycle, man. It's tough. It's a tough cycle.
He got wrecked with the rest of us, I guess.
Look, you trade long enough, it happens, man.
Sure.
So everybody out there, welcome. I'm with Sin of HEX One Protocol. We did a Conversations on Chain a couple months back. It was very cool. He's a builder on chain. And today, you guys are probably here because you saw Afterlife pDAI. What happens when pDAI pegs? What happens before it pegs? And what happens after it pegs? Well, one thing I can tell you for sure is the world we know of crypto and just your life in general, especially if you hold pDAI, is never going to be the same. It's going to be a completely different reality, a completely different crypto market, and a completely another dimension of PulseChain, something you probably couldn't even imagine right now. So that's what we're going to talk about with Sin. He is very knowledgeable, and we're going to discuss all those points I just talked about. And Tron, I saw you had a question. Thank you for that. Remind me if we don't get back to that. We'll get to that a little bit later in the talk. But right now, let's go ahead and dig right in. Sin, are you ready?
Yeah, man.
You
I
look
was born
ready.
ready.
You look ready. Yeah,
No,
you are
I think
born
I
ready.
am. I think I am. I think I am. No, let's. Because I thought about. I thought a lot about this already, right? In
Okay.
the sense, if it, I mean, if it was possible for pDAI to, to peg to one at some point, right? But yeah, so let's. I think we should dive into, we will dive into different topics because
Yep.
I think there's a lot of things that we can basically just peel. So the first point, and I want to start with that. What exactly what I just said, which is um, Richard Hart did not sell his DAI before the copy, right? So although he
That's right.
was arguing the video you just showed for that, like don't get dragged, people, right? He was literally saying that.
Okay.
He did that, like, so he held DAI, right? So he waited for the PulseChain for PulseChain to launch, and then he basically, after he got his copy, then he sold, like, his DAI for ETH. And like we can argue if it was like an emotional thing, if he really, thought that the market was going to pump a lot. What doesn't really matter, right? Like, to me, what empirically matters, because that part is subjective, but what is objective is he kept his DAI, he got the copy. So was he interested? Was that on purpose? I don't know that, but I know that he got
Right.
the copy. So
Right.
that's already one, at least for me, right? That's already 1 point in favor of pDAI, right? And another
Yeah.
one is that he did not sell any of his pDAI, right? Like that applies to, like, all these other holdings except the DAI on Ethereum, right? Because he sold DAI for ETH. But besides that, I mean, he sold a little bit, right? But that doesn't really matter,
He
right?
he
I'm
sold
talking
some.
about big chunks. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't sell big chunks. He sold just a little bit. Right. Right.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, but again, but because that applies to, like, Hex, to whatever, right? Like, when I say that apply to Hex, I mean, like, he went on Twitter, right? And he's like, he said the market has chosen, right? And, like, Hex dumped a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hex on Ethereum. So
Mm-hmm.
the other one too. But
Mm-hmm.
my point is that he did not, like, sell his X on Ethereum or anything, right? He just said something on Twitter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said that, the logic of Richard not selling his holdings for, like, for other coins. I mean, that applies to mostly everything that he holds, I guess. So yeah. I'm not sure if that. What I mean is that I'm not sure if that could count as, something in favor, right? The fact that he waited, that can count, at least for me, for sure. But the fact that he didn't sell, that applies to everything else, right? Okay, so, like, that part for me is like the fundamental part, let's say fundamentals, because we can and we'll get also into technicals, right? But I think it's important to look at the fundamentals, right? And before and after the fundamentals, and then before the technicals, I want to, like, and there's also the other part, which is the cult, right? Because, like, we'll go into technicals in the sense of, like, how much pDAI exists, like, how much, it needs to be there in the vault, etc., right? For it to be collateralized, like, ways for pDAI to be burned, like, stuff like that, right? But my point is, like, something that I'm not sure if it's above, at the same level, or below, but something that I'm sure that it's important is the fact that, like, people believe that pDAI will go to one, right? And apart from that, yeah, people believe in that, right? It's something that people just believe in, right? They want pDAI to go to one, so it's a cult thing, right? um
Right. Right. I'd say
yeah.
there's the cult. We can call it
Hmm.
a cult right now. It's the people that believe
Sure.
it's going to $1, and then there's the
Uh-huh.
people that are like, look, I don't know if it's going to $1 or not. I don't
Uh-huh.
care, but it's going to go up no matter what.
Sure. Sure.
As a meme. And there's some people who don't believe in it at all, but still are going to trade it because it's going up. Absolutely.
Sure.
It's one of the strongest charts, right? And then there's the complete non-believers, for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. But, like, because of the price chart, right? Because there's been so much people believing in the cause, right? Let's say in the cause of pDAI, like, going to
Right.
one.
Right.
and
Right.
and we have two scenarios, which is going to one and then pegging to one, because those are two different things, right? And we'll
Those are
discuss
two
them
different
separately.
things, two different scenarios.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So there's that cold part, right, which I think it's critical, or at least for me, it's the most important, because it's a belief system, right? In the sense that even even if it gets to one, there potentially there's a lot of people that don't want to sell, right? And because mainly of two reasons, I think. One is because they somehow they want to use that DAI, right, within the DAI ecosystem, the maker ecosystem, like liquidations, for example, or they want to use the DAI within DeFi ecosystem in PulseChain, right? So those are probably the two reasons. There's another one. Which
Okay,
is
let's break that
yeah,
down. Okay,
sure,
okay. So give
yeah,
us those two reasons again.
okay. So reason number one is they believe that let's say for a moment pDAI reaches one. Okay,
Okay,
so that happens. Um, let's ignore the volatility, like, because it will go down and then go up, etc. Let's ignore all that. Let's just assume that it goes to one, right, in the sense that somehow it's pegged. But for it to remain pegged, or it means that they're like, first, let's, what is a peg? A peg is a ratio, right, between two coins. And I'm assuming v2 distribution. When I say v2 distribution, is like PulseX,
so
right,
let's
in the
break it
sense that
down.
you
Really,
need the
let's
same.
make
Yeah,
it really simple. So you're saying
yeah,
a pegging is a ratio of two tokens. So
yeah.
that would be whatever's collateralized versus the other token, or what is
No,
that
no, no, no,
for
no,
people
no,
who
no,
don't
no.
understand? Okay,
Yeah, sure. No, what I haven't touched on that yet. We'll discuss the collateral part, but like
just to
for now,
understand your definition, what you mean
yeah,
by
sure.
peg.
We're talking about
Okay,
the liquidity, right? When I say
okay.
a peg is basically just a ratio, right?
A
It's
peg
a
is a
ratio in the
ratio,
sense of liquidity, right? Because there's two
right?
coins on a liquidity pool, and there's
Yes.
the same number of coins on each side of the pool, right? Basically, that's what I mean.
Okay.
And that is the peg. That okay. We, of
It's
course, like,
it's
if you
that
look at,
simple. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
just to
just
make
a
it
ratio.
simple,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally just a ratio, right? And like,
Right.
when the ratio goes down, like, it goes up because people just buy the opportunity, the arbitrage, right? Because they believe in something. They like this, but that part is the collateral part. But let's ignore that for now. Let's just focus on the actual peg, so the actual
Okay.
ratio, right? So, because that part is also, again, is the belief system, right? Because if it goes down, people want to buy it until it matches one, because they see it as arbitrage, right? But that is a belief system, right? And so, I think that for if DAI wants to actually peg and remain there, there's a lot of supply that needs to be, locked, not only in A-Tropa, etc., but like actually locked in DeFi ecosystems, or people who just want to wait for the vault, for example, to have a lot of collateral, and like
Okay.
for moments where the collateralization ratio for the vault goes down, and they can
Okay.
use the like that DAI to go get some collateral by liquidating somebody else's vault. Okay,
Okay.
so that, so it's either DeFi or within the P maker ecosystem, let's say, so for liquidation. So th- but for that to happen, people actually need to hold it and actually believe that it will remain there, right? So
That's right.
it's actually a belief system. The same thing happens for DAI, right? But DAI is easier because it started pegged, right? People deposited the amount in the vault, and then they were able to mint some DAI. But
Okay.
because of the difference between the DAI that they minted and the amount that they deposit in the vault, there is a gap, right?
Okay.
It's called the LTV, the loan to value, basically. um
So let's
yeah,
slow this down
yeah,
and go back so
yeah,
people understand.
sure.
You spoke about belief. People have to believe it pegs and it's going to hold. All right.
Yep.
So let's just look at something like USDT. Why do we believe USD or USDC, whichever one we want to pick? Why do people trust it, even at an institutional level? Why do they believe when they send someone that I'm going to send you $100 USDT? Why are you going to receive $100? What's that? You said it's a ratio. What is that other on the other side of the USDT or USDC that holds it?
It's a great question. No fucking idea in the sense of tether, right? Like, people just believe, right?
That
They
we
now they have
believe
some
that
audit, etc.
they're
But
saying
we
that.
just believe it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
We just
they've
believe.
made claims
We
that
just
there's
believe.
gold or there's
Yep.
USD, right? But here's the
Exactly.
thing: a lot of people don't understand. We don't actually know. All right,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
what is the collateral for USDT? And it's making up, what is USDT? It's like 60-70% of the stablecoin market, maybe more. They just printed 2 billion before this pump. What did they buy? Did they have gold? Do they have that? Do they have 3 billion in gold that they just picked up, or dollars to back up that USDT? Right. So we don't know. So a lot of it is belief. But what's interesting about DAI is because of Maker, we can see the collateral. Correct?
Yep. Yep.
unlike USDT, which is only belief, with DAI we have belief, but we can also see it. Is
Yep.
that correct?
Yep.
Yeah, we can see
Exactly.
it. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So basically, exactly. So basically, the pDAI is just a copy of DAI, right? And Maker just a copy of Maker. So they got the same tokens at the time of the fork, right? Of course, the values are all screwed up. Okay, but let's ignore the values for now. But yeah, it's
All right.
exactly what you were saying. So it's basically there are two ratios that we can discuss. So the first ratio, the one that we already discussed, the peg within the liquidity pool, so the ratio in the sense of liquidity, and then there's the other ratio, the ratio in terms of collateral and total coins minted, right? That ratio, or the collateralization ratio, for example, in DAI, is like close to 400%. So that means that's there's like five times more collateral than coins minted, right? That's more or less what it means. Sorry, four times
So
more collateral. Yeah,
so yeah.
sometimes,
So
yeah, exactly. Four times more collateral in dollars than the DAI that was minted. Okay,
okay.
so yeah, go on. You wanted to ask a question? Yes.
You're saying that's what's in the vault right now is 4 times?
In DAI, what I'm saying in DAI in Ethereum, okay, in DAI, not pDAI, in DAI,
Okay,
okay,
got you. Yeah.
just using DAI as a benchmark, okay.
Got you.
Exactly, yeah. So in DAI, this is this is how it looks basically, okay. And I'm not discussing what collateral is in the vault, etc., because there's like loads of different things, right? I'm just talking about the dollar value of the collateral.
Okay.
So technically, for the peg to happen, there would be a need for the collateral that it is in the actual P maker vault, the one that allows people to mint pDAIs, to match, okay, or to be substantially higher than the number
It's
of pDAI in circulation. Okay.
for PMaker to work, it needs to be 150%,
Yes.
I believe.
Yes.
1.5
Minimum.
times minimum. That's the minimum threshold for
Yeah.
Maker
Yeah,
right now, everybody.
exactly.
So yeah.
And if that happens, but okay, why did I start saying that DAI had essentially 400% collateralization ratio?
Yes.
Because
Why?
at 150, okay,
Uh-huh.
that means that it will probably kick off a lot of liquidations very, very easily. Okay, very, very easily. Okay.
Okay.
If people decide to deposit.
Explain to
Okay.
everybody what that means. Break it down.
Yeah. So what like 100% collateralization ratio means that you deposit $100, and you can borrow $50. Okay.
Right.
This is basically what it means. You can just borrow half. Okay. So
Okay.
how much it basically is just a notion of how much you're borrowing versus the collateral you're depositing, right? And
Right.
you need to be above 150%, right?
Okay.
So the maximum that you could borrow in this situation is $50, right? So in pDAI, there's about 23 billion tokens minted right now. So either there's enough coins within the pmaker vault that get to a certain value that covers the pDAI in circulation, or somebody decides to deposit, and again, this one that I'm going to say now is probably the one that I don't think that this will happen, because it just doesn't make sense. But somebody could deposit the tokens within the vault, mint
Right.
in the pDAI vault, right? Once they reach a certain value that somebody decides to activate the pmaker vault,
Right.
and mint DAI, all right.
Right.
And okay, again, I'm assuming there is an oracle, etc., right? That the oracle is working for the mint to happen,
Right.
because it needs to know the value of the coins that are being deposited. So I'm assuming a lot of things, right? But I'm just going to assume that stuff is working, right? So because the pmaker vault is quite complex, and making it work is
Right.
not that straightforward. Okay, it is a lot of complexity. But this is Richard Hart, so I'm assuming that he got that covered for sure. So, and again, I'm ignoring under brackets. I'm not ignoring. I'm going to discuss that later, but I'm ignoring the whole A-Tropa ecosystem for now. It's amazing, and we'll discuss it. But like, let's just ignore it for now. Just focus on Richard, right? So if there are 23 billion, DAIs in circulation, pDAIs in circulation, and assuming that like nobody's going to deposit like tokens there in the vault, just like so for them to be liquidated, right? Just so that somebody can like burn their DAI and access the tokens that are in the vault. Somebody could do that, right? Somebody could do that in a way that again, but I don't think it's that feasible, because they would have to mint the DAI, right? So somebody would burn theirs, but they would keep the DAI, right? Are you following for now? Right now,
Yeah.
so if somebody
Chat.
in the vault,
Chat, how
they
are
need
you
to-
doing?
they can-
How's the
yeah.
pacing, and are you guys keeping up? Are we moving too fast? Do you guys have any questions for clarity? Definitely let us know.
Yeah, but what I mean is like let me try to use an example, right? So
Okay.
let's assume that Pulse, like PulseX, X, etc. Like all of them do like 1000x. Doesn't matter. Like a huge like a huge profit basically from where we are.
Okay.
That means that like potentially Richard could deposit could like allow the PMaker vault to accept like those tokens X, etc. The tokens that he holds, and that would be and basically mint dies, right?
Right.
And allow the price of DAI of the like the collateral to fluctuate enough so that like his positions could be liquidated. But instead of him liquidating the positions, he would wait for the market to liquidate his position. So because that would mean that somebody would like burn their DAI and acquire those tokens, right? Now, again, that is a possibility, but I don't think that will happen, right? It's like super far fetched, and
Well, let's slow
I
that
don't think
down. Let's slow that down. So, what the idea is? Imagine the value of the pulse bags go up. Well, I don't know what's the cumulative value right now of the whole ecosystem. Is it $7 billion?
What PulseChain?
Chat, help me out here.
Let me see. I had some stuff open. Let me see if I can. What was breached to PulseChain, or no?
The total value.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna go.
Wait, give me
I
a
think
second.
it's
Chain.
7 billion. Am I off? Including
Give me a second.
Hex
I'm
and
just-
everything.
Yeah, wait. I think it's here. It's 500 million. No, 400, 450, something like that.
No.
No?
It's a lot more than that.
No. So sorry, I thought you were talking about TVL. No, we were talking about the total value.
No,
of
not TVL. The total
Oh,
value.
sorry. Okay.
Between with the OA in the coins, everything. I mean, just Hex market cap is still 12 billion, correct? With OA. So
No. Yeah, sure. I know. Of course. Yeah. I have no idea about that. Yeah.
Oh,
The
okay. It's
total
just
value
Pulse
of
is
all
7
that,
billion,
no.
so 7.5, so 12, and 12. So let's say 24 billion. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And the whole ecosystem does. Wow. Oh, well, that's including the OA, but that's what we need right now. That's the number
Yeah,
we need.
including
So let's
the
say,
OA,
yeah. So let's say it's 24 billion, guys. All right, you guys following? So if we have 24 billion dollars, that's the value of all the tokens, including the OA, everything. What you hold, I hold, whatever. If it just 10x's, the whole ecosystem 10x's, okay, that puts it at 240 billion. All right. And let's say it 50x's. Let's say it 20x's, which I think, let's just give a very conservative number, okay? So that's about $500 billion, half a trillion. Someone could then take part of that, which would be the OA's value, which might be 400 billion, and they can collateralize the vault, okay? So
Sure.
they put that into the vault, and then they can take out and mint pDAI. Now, and then with that pDAI, they can possibly purchase more of these tokens. All right?
Mm-hmm.
They can, in a sense, you can think of it like a stock buyback. Okay?
Sure.
Now, what happens to the collateralized assets? They just sit there until somebody else comes and
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like
Okay.
they just sit there, and unless the price of the collateral drops enough that it goes into liquidations, right? And then somebody else, or the person or somebody else, can basically liquidate or pay the debt and reclaim the collateral, basically
Right. But he can over
burning the
collateralize
PDAI.
it. He doesn't have to burn an equal amount for the collateral. So for example, he could put in somebody could put in 400 billion and only take out 50 billion.
Yep.
Okay. Now, what would 50 billion stock buyback in the PulseChain ecosystem do to the value? Okay. What would it do? The person doesn't need to collateralize to put in 400 billion and take out 300 billion worth of PDAI. They don't need to mint that much. They only need to mint $1 billion. So the chances of it losing peg is extremely, it's almost impossible that it could happen. It'd be extraordinarily slim because you don't need to mint that much to put back into the ecosystem. Okay.
But imagine, but the problem, at least I mean, it's not a problem, right? Like in that scenario, what happens is that Richard is basically just paying off people who invested early in pDAI, right? Because somebody goes there, dumps, and somebody else buys, right? So
that will happen
the
for sure.
But
And that also leaves
somebody
plenty of room
else
for that
needs
to
to
happen.
pay them, right?
So, yeah.
When I say pay them, is
Right.
the liquidity pool needs
Right.
the liquidity pool needs to rebalance. That's what I mean,
Right. And there's plenty in the collateral by far to do that.
No, the coins in the collateral are basically just Richard's personal vault. Like imagine that, right? Unless they go into liquidations, which is a scenario where the collateral value drops. Okay.
Right.
But that's what I said. It's a super far-fetched scenario. Ignore that. Let's just. I shouldn't have discussed the liquidations because that would be like just a way of Richard selling OTC. Let's say.
I think people have these questions. They have these questions of concern.
Okay. Sure. But that is super
crypto,
far-fetched. What you're saying is more likely, which is.
It seems
No,
a
but what you're
far-fetched
saying
things
is more
happen.
likely, which is sure, but far more likely is just Richard buying the tokens himself and like securing the peg himself, right? That's it. That's far more likely.
And there's such an enormous by hundreds of % more collateral to do that with, and have a tremendous amount of leeway. Okay, real quick, I'm going to play you guys something. We're going to continue on this chat.
Yep.
Great to see you. We love all your comments. Thanks for supporting us. Like this video and check this out. I'm going to come over to here. Okay, listen to this. This is from Decentralized to me. Most of you guys have probably seen this video. If you are as into pDAI as we think you are.
Here is a screenshot from the front end that we are developing. And there is Richard's vote to take over pMaker. For our proposal to pass, we need Richard to vote, as he is the only holder with enough votes. The executive vote will only pass once it has more votes than the existing proposal. Richard will maintain control over the timing of the peg. Richard, you launched with pDAI having a logo when other assets didn't. You told us there would be a MakerDAO replacement, so we would have DAI on PulseChain. You never shield projects that are not your own, and you shield pDAI not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times, even posting the chart. You told us you were planning to release a stablecoin backed by crypto. You sent 300 million pDAI to the Sens Foundation. You highlighted DAI that one time. We saw it. You put a wallet that could only be yours at the center of the efforts to take over MakerDAO on PulseChain. You minted the extra supply directly from addresses found within the PulseChain GitLab. You pumped the OA bags to the amount required to over-collateralize pDAI. Then you told us how you did it. You momentarily released farms to show us what's coming. You showed us how effectively you're able to maintain a peg through arbitrage. You bought Ethereum with the sacrifice funds everyone was tracking, literally making the trade DAI to Ethereum. You minted the Pulse and PulseX supply by moving your Hex OA bags into the sacrifice address, illustrating how moving OA supply from one address to another can create money that previously didn't exist. The exact move required to peg pDAI. You made a sacrifice for the freedom of speech, movement, and assembly, telling us you'll reward people with similar political beliefs. You told us to ask. Richard, I hear you. I understand what to do. I've never felt so close to you. I can see you. And I just want you to know that I never doubted you. And I'll be with you soon.
Oh my god, I love our community, bro. It's like we are the best. We are the best, man. It's amazing. It's beautiful. This is beautiful.
Yeah. So we'll play that again later. I hope you guys picked up on those details. They're definitely important. Okay, let's continue. Yeah.
I mean, he's 100% correct, like what he's saying in the video, right? In the sense that Richard does support pDAI, whether people believe it, with whether people like it. There's like far too many examples, right? Like the ones that he picked are awesome, but I'm sure there are plenty more, right?
Right.
So, and I'm pretty sure that I think I've seen, and I don't want to just to throw his name, not in a bad sense, because I think Silver the Antidote, he does like amazing on-chain analysis, right? And I think he touched on the pDAI at least briefly, but again, I might be misremembering or something, but I thought that I've seen it from him too. But anyways, we can track some of the information, right, in the sense of what happened with the P maker vaults, and it is obviously connected to Richard, right? I think that's just that's just how it is, right? It's not discussable, I guess. So the point is, you don't even need the vault to have that much collateral deposited, or to have the collateral to back the DAI in circulation. You can just do that with with arbitrage, let's say, as we were just discussing, right? People, somebody buying up the tokens when the peg drops, for example, right? If somebody else buys, basically. So just doing that arbitrage, that would be, of course, be possible, but that again, we would definitely need like a super pump, right? So that Richard could have the firing power that he needs to support the network in that sense, right? But again, I really think it depends on the sell pressure, right, and how it goes, right? At the end of the day, I also think that people are like pDAI is building a cult, right? So there will for sure be sellers, but it's possible that there are enough people holding the coin and using the coin in protocols that will pop up. And again, I think this will play a critical role, which is if the market sees somehow, even if it's not directly, right, Richard supporting pDAI, protocols might pop up that start using pDAI as collateral, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That would probably change things a lot, right? Because then the pDAI holders could use pDAI to mint something else, etc., right?
Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's go and talk about what happens, what incentive, because the question we're getting is everybody's going to sell their pDAI as we get to $1, and I was explaining that no. So let's go ahead and talk about the incentives that are going to keep people from selling their pDAI, and then why pDAI could even go past $1. Let's talk about those things. So you guys, we'll be right back. You guys watch this, and we're going to answer those questions. All right. Let's answer the big question. What happens when pDAI pegs? What's going to keep people from selling as we get to $1?
Okay.
And how high past $1 could pDAI go?
Okay, those are great questions. Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, let's pick up right where we started with the incentives. You were mentioning something. Let's continue there with the incentives. What kind of incentive structures are going to start to pop up? And at what point in the climb will we see these incentive structures? Because I have some theories about that.
Okay, great question. So before the incentives, in the sense that when you say incentives, you mean basically DeFi protocols, for
Yeah.
example,
Yeah,
incentive token.
No,
pools,
not incentives. I mean,
whatever,
like
doesn't
things that, yeah, it's like, for example, people are in money markets getting 4 or 5% on their dollar right now. So there's incentive not to trade the dollar for Tesla stock or whatever. For, you know what I mean? So I think there will be protocols or things that'll come up that are going to give people a use case for not selling their pDAI, for holding the pDAI.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sure.
So let's talk about
Exactly.
what things you think could pop up and when, at what point we'll start to see those in the climb.
Sure. So before like all that pops up, I think that we need the mania phase, and when I say mania phase, I mean that we for sure need pDAI to like go way beyond the dollar, right? So we need pDAI to go to $1, like go down, then recover, go beyond the dollar, etc. So we need sellers, and we need to exhaust some of the sellers, some of the people who hold a lot
Okay.
of pDAI, right?
So there's going to be a purpose of going past $1, and one of that is going to
Yeah.
help get the sellers out.
Exactly, it
Gotcha.
will redistribute pDAI, right?
Redistribute,
Because
get you.
like exactly because
sense.
first it will stop the notion that pDAI will is pegged to one, because I think if it goes, for example, to $10 or something like that, something crazy like that, people will think that it can go till infinity, and that's a good thing, right?
That
That's
would
a
be
good thing
great
because
marketing if it went much higher than even if it just went to $2. I mean, people would lose their
yeah,
minds.
sure,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because
$2
again,
pDAI, pDAI
yeah,
to
exactly, because
$2.
we need people to hold, right? So that would be an extra incentive, right? In the sense that
Yeah, that would
it's
be a
not
huge
locked yet, right?
incentive.
Like before, there's anything done with PMaker. I'm just talking about speculation, right? Pure speculation.
Right.
So we need to exhaust sellers, right?
You're right.
So, and
Just imagine, chat. We get to where 80, 90 cents people are selling pDAI. You've got that first big dump out of the way, okay? Just like 100K Bitcoin, right? What's happening? Shorters. People were shorting it like crazy. Shorters being liquidated, destroyed. Why do they get destroyed? Because they keep moving the price up. So now pDAI is getting to $1. It's getting closer and closer. And what happens? Everyone thinks, okay, now we're going to reverse, and then it pops, goes right past.
Yep.
Just like Bitcoin, imagine going right past 100K. And then now what happens? And now the shorters are gone. Now no one's going to sell, or people are still selling, but the price keeps going up.
exactly.
And this could 100%.
We need that to happen, I think. Yeah.
We actually need it to happen, just like they're doing to Bitcoin right now.
Sure.
They're gonna destroy every shorter, and seller is going to be completely destroyed. And they're just going to keep
Exactly.
ratcheting that price back up.
Exactly, because then you also give a reason for people to buy, right? Not
give
like
reason
even
for people to buy,
people to
yes.
sell, to redistribute the coins. Like
Yeah.
who would probably be doing that? Like Richard could do that. Like not spending a lot of money to do that. Honestly, just a
How
matter
could
of
Richard?
putting a little
How could Richard do that? How
I
could
just
he do
pump a
that?
little bit, right? So you could
He
just
just
buy
pumps a
pDAI a
little
little
bit,
bit,
right.
like enough so that people go nuts, right? Enough so that people go like they just start selling, and then
How-
pumps a little bit again, and like
How
if
would he
people
pump it?
see that.
How would he pump
Just
it?
buy
He
it.
would buy it. Just buy it, right?
Yeah,
Just simple.
just buy
Yeah.
it. Yeah, like you could do the same for other, and I'm not sure, but I
Do
think
the
you'll
same
do the
for-
same for other for other P coins, right? For
He
other
could buy
copies.
Aave,
Yeah.
PMaker. He could buy them,
Yeah,
just like he would
yeah, I
buy
think so.
incentive token or PulseX or Hex or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. Like
Yeah.
it's there. Like it's still richer hard coins. So
It is. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. So So yeah, but I think we need that, like, to go over that phase where people sell a lot, and and the price goes way beyond the dollar. Doesn't matter
Way
if it's
beyond
like
that.
$2, $10. Doesn't really matter. I'm
How
just
high could it
talking like
go? How high past the dollar
there's no
will
ceiling,
pDAI
right?
go?
Like there's absolutely no ceiling. So I mean, I'm being like, we need to be honest. There's no ceiling right now, right? So
Okay, but
to,
how can it keep going? Like what? Like,
it's just a meme coin. Just think of it as a meme coin, right? It's like
chat. I'm
it's
putting a
like,
question out there. You're right. If we're in a euphoric phase of the market and it's
Yeah.
moving up,
yeah.
I mean, every seller could still be exhausted and it could still keep going up, couldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
How high? How high could it go? How high could we? What would the market cap be of it at $1? Do we have any idea? Does it have?
Yeah, right now it's 23 billion. So there's 23 billion pDAI. So 23
Dude,
billion.
it would be. Man, it would
It's not
be.
like, it's not that crazy, right?
It would be like $5 trillion market cap. It would be half the gold market cap right now,
What?
right? The
What?
market cap of pDAI at that
If
point.
if it went to how much?
Because the collateral has to go up. Is that
No,
why?
like no. That, like, just like, ignore the collateral for now. Like,
ignore the
just
collateral?
ignore it. Just focus on the actual coin, the actual pDAI, right? It like, it doesn't have a number. How high can it go? There's no number, right? It's like Hex or like any other coin, right? There's no limit, right? People just say to $1, but like it can go to 10, 100. Doesn't really matter, right? It's there's no actual limit, right?
Okay, because until it's pegged, the collateral doesn't matter. It's just like any
And
other token. It's just
not
going to
even,
go up.
it's not even the
Doesn't matter.
until the vault is activated, right?
yeah,
And even if
yeah.
the vault is activated, it doesn't like mean anything, right? Just
100%. So this is an important distinction. I think we all are
Because look, the
thinking.
people who bought pDAI, they're not in
Yeah.
risk of, like, losing. They don't have like a vault where they deposited collateral, blah blah blah. So they're not at risk, right? So it can go
Right.
to whatever like number, right? And that's also a reason why people like doubt so much that pDAI can actually peg to $1, right?
Yeah.
It's a good and the bad thing, right? It's both. That's why I say we need to exhaust these people like myself who have like way too much pDAI that bought like for like nothing, but right. So
Yeah.
apparently even Johnny Chaos holds like 30 million pDAI. So
No, he doesn't. That much? He was funding
yeah,
it pretty hard.
he said it publicly on Twitter. So I mean,
30 million.
I'm not sure if it's like if he was lying or not, but he said it publicly. Right?
Yeah, that's really interesting because I remember he wasn't into the pDAI thing, was he?
I hate it. Yeah, sure. Ooh,
Yeah,
I think it's super weird that, like, like, why would you hate like the copies? Why? I don't get it. Like, so Richard just creates, just as like largest airdrop, like, and you hate on the coins. Why?
It doesn't make
I
sense
don't
because
get
he's
it.
talked nonstop about the P copies, so he obviously has something in his head about them. It's not just a marketing gimmick. He's got something
Yeah,
that
exactly.
he sees about the future. Now, he's not right. No one's right about everything. No one knows the future, but he certainly has an incredible pulse on, crypto and markets and people. So he must see something for it in the future, for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, yeah, I think it's a way of attracting people, right? Like, imagine the reason why you want to like those coins to hold like value is because basically, like, the people from Ethereum, for example, the people who held like who hold the coins or who held the coins at the time of the airdrop, right? They have an incentive to come, and I know a lot of people who have like tokens on PulseChain and they don't give a shit, right? But they don't care because
care.
like yeah, exactly, don't care now, right? But if it 10x is from where we are today, they will care, right? Because
They'll
like
start to
now,
care.
like, instead of having like $100, they have like 1,000 and maybe 10,000. So
Yeah.
there's a huge difference, right? There's a huge gap here, right?
Right.
Which is like we need the pump. We need the pump because it will be the pump that will onboard the new people, right? The people from Ethereum, like, for example, people who hold like the coins, or just like brand new people, right?
Yeah.
But I think the goal of
We'll
Richard
get to-
was basically just giving the airdrop
Yeah.
to like incentivize people to come, basically.
When Richard comes back, there'll be a big dump shortly after because a lot of those people are going to show up and just dump their bags. They're just going to G.
When
when it starts streaming and everything's just going to do like a 10x pretty
You
quick.
think he'll start streaming?
I think Richard will start streaming again. Yeah.
Okay.
And
I don't think he will.
okay, let's talk. We'll talk about that too. Let's talk about that too. Let me cover this really quick. So,
Sure.
you know, let's say he started streaming and everything did a 10x. You'll have a lot of these ETH people who don't give a shit. They'll just come over, notice they have some of these copies. There'll be like a big dump right there. They'll just get rid of it,
sure.
right? Okay.
Like it happened with Hex, right? Hex suffered the same, like not problem, but it's not really a problem because they, like it's like look, this effect. The reason why Richard chose to do the airdrop again after he experienced this, like the dump with Hex, right? Because we had the same situation with Hex, right? There was an airdrop for Bitcoin holders, right? They couldn't dump much, right? But they still dumped. But like it works in two different ways, which is first it's the obvious one, the free money, right? You give them free money, they are happy. But after they sell, and it 100x, 1000x, then they won't stop talk about it. They're just gonna like be like sore losers, right? Because they're gonna be like, look at how much I could have made, right? And they cannot like stop thinking about it. So it's like that guy's a fucking genius, bro. Yeah, so undervalued, Richard Hartman. Whew.
So let's talk about what you mentioned. So you don't think he's going to start streaming ever again?
No.
Why not?
Yeah,
Tell us about that. Tell me about that really quick.
Look, I could be like 1000% wrong.
No, sure.
Probably I am.
This whole
Probably
video
I
is
am.
speculation. This is the pDAI afterlife. Okay, so
Look,
this is we're all looking into the future, and because I get we get so many questions. Everyone's speculating and wondering what if, and that's what this stream was about. It's to answer some what if. So let's say he doesn't. Okay, first of all, why would he not stream again? What are the reasons why? And what would happen if he didn't start streaming again? Because I think everyone's expecting him to eventually he's going to come back, right?
Look, it's like imagine he had to build and release Hex and PulseChain, right? But like streaming is not really not something. It's not a token. It's something unrelated, right? It's just like his presence, and I think the promise of him returning is far more valuable than him returning. There's nothing that he can say that will add more value than the thing that he already said, and he knows that. That's why he streamed so much in the past, because he wanted to leave
I'm
like, all the
entertaining.
information. Huh?
I'm entertaining it, but then you're whittling him down to just a tech savvy cryptopreneur in that way.
Look,
Or like
I'm not saying that
you
he's never streaming again. What I'm saying is that if he streams again, it's going to be very few times, like not for long, short stuff, like he did. Because look, like we need to look like at what he does actually, not what we think or what we want him to do, right? And like his last two streams were like very short. Congratulations, guys! PulseChain has launched. Boom, done. I mean, I see a similar thing happening at like new all-time highs, like new video, white white wall behind him. Congratulations on a new all-time high, guys! Boom, done. 5-second video, boom, it's done. And he's maybe setting a new standard. Right, I don't know. I'm just using the information that I have available, right? And
information.
Look,
what information do you have? You got information?
This is the information. Like I'm just using the information, which is what he's doing, and he's just tweeting. He's not showing up. He doesn't want to stream for whatever reason it is. Maybe he's pulling a Satoshi.
He could be pulling a Satoshi, but
And
you can't.
that
Pull,
would-
you can't. You
that
can't
would
pull
be
a
probably
Satoshi
the best thing for the community.
if he disappears. Well, I guess we got the lawsuit. So let's say the lawsuit gets dropped. He doesn't stream. It just gets dropped. Okay, and you find out, hey, it got dropped, and he doesn't stream. It's going to pump, but and then people start saying the same sentiment. Oh, did he pull a Satoshi? That would be interesting. Here's my take on it. I think that. Tam Tam says he loves us way too much. Tam Tam.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he does.
Maybe. But maybe because it is that he loves us that he would not stream again.
I think he's hurting without social contact. I think he's quite a social person. I remember watching early videos about him at the Bitcoin conference and different things. And I think he loves engaging with people. I really do. The video he put from the hotel a la McAfee? We should do a McAfee stream sometime. But where everything was covered in sheets and everything like that. So he didn't dox his location. He was very careful.
Sure.
He was quite stressed, and I could tell he was working very hard. That's why, because people were saying that he's just kind of following through and he's going to bail. And I said, no, I don't think so. I think this is a video of a man who's really working hard and trying to figure out how to win. But on top of that, I also saw the alienation, the stress of alienation, and some people who don't care for people that much. And there are definitely some people that are, especially in our space. It's very tech driven. There are personalities like that. I don't think he's one of those. I think he needs to be around people, interact with them, and get that interaction back. Now, whether that's love or not, or what that emotion is to him, or I don't know for sure. But I think that he does crave and enjoys that social interaction. And I don't think he'll be able to resist coming back and streaming again, especially if PulseChain's doing well. I think he's got a bone to pick with a lot of people. But once again, this is just speculation. Tam says it's killing him to stay quiet. I know it. That's my feeling, the two as well right now, that maybe it is. But could he pull a Satoshi? I don't know. Who knows what other stressors come to the crypto market too, or where this lawsuit goes. So we don't know anything yet.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm hearing rumors that he's having issues. Is he having issues with Finland, or is that where he is? He's in Helsinki.
Maybe. No idea.
We don't know. Nobody knows.
He doesn't reply to my messages anymore.
He doesn't. He doesn't know I exist. But,
exactly.
We don't know if he exists anymore. But
actually, I streamed with him like once.
Did you stream?
A couple of years.
Yeah, you streamed with a lot of people. Yeah, that was cool, man.
Yeah, it was very cool. Very good times.
Yeah, I think people are craving the old Richard Hart to come back, and I think maybe Tam's right. I think it's killing him to be away from everybody and interact with them. I think he enjoys it. He enjoys the rubbing shoulders and bouncing ideas back and forth, and dealing with like he's always open to. One thing I noticed, everybody, regardless of their intelligence level or whatever, he just talked to everybody, and that says a lot. Because sometimes people only want to interact with people in their spectrum of intelligence. I noticed that too on a technical thing, because I have like a certain way that I look at charts, different things, and people who look at it really differently, they don't want to interact with me or whatever. And somebody who's really intelligent, like Richard Hart, he can absorb that whole spectrum of intelligence of somebody. So I can see him sit across from somebody who has a more creative intelligence or technical intelligence or whatever, and he can absorb it and adopt what they're saying and speak back in their language. He's great at that. And that's a skill not a lot of people have, and that's another reason I think that he does crave this interaction, because to have a wide spectrum of social intelligence that you can relate to somebody who has a narrower band is hard, actually, and it's not that common. Especially
he can speak in all bands. You're absolutely
speak in all
right.
bands.
Yeah. That's a very good way of analyzing Richard Hart. Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay,
go on. Yeah.
Oh, you guys smash this like button on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. We really appreciate you guys. Chat, thanks so much. If I missed any really important questions, you can double tap them back in. We're going to try to answer some really quick. Somebody said maybe he'll stream at the top. And Belta, it's very true. He could just come back because he'll wait for it to go back up, and then it'll make another top probably. It'll just go nuts from there. Okay, Shaq says it can surpass $1 USD like $1.50 to exhaust sellers. Yes, because
maybe much higher, man.
It may be much higher, and let's talk about that, because there's a lot of talk
it's
right
a
now.
Coin. Right now, like just think of it as a meme coin.
BTC's at 89.
Because whatever people want to do with the vaults right now, it doesn't matter. Right now, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter the vaults. Forget the peg, forget the vaults right now. And I understand that. Makes sense.
Exactly, because look, there's 23 billion in circulation, right? So it doesn't really matter, right? Nobody in their mind would just like deposit into a vault just to mint like pDAI when they can just buy it off the market, right? It's like why? There's a huge discount. There's that's at least it's my analysis, right? So for me right now it's an absolute meme coin, right? But with stablecoin features, right? So it could definitely peg, and I think it will peg for a different reason than what is in the what collateral is in the vault. I think the reason can be different. Again, like Richard just arbitraging the peg, or it can be through the vault as well. But again, there's 23 billion in circulation that needs to be distributed into DeFi protocols, into pools, wherever, like into places where people are not selling, right?
Right.
So we need to exhaust the seller. It's much easier for us to just see it as a meme coin. But it's the first meme coin in the world with like stablecoin features. That's like amazing. Like
That's the
it's
best way to look
absolutely
at it
insane.
right now. Yeah, the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
meme
I think
coin in the world that has stablecoin features. Then later it'll flip and it'll be the first stablecoin in the world that had meme coin features.
exactly. Look, what I think Richard is doing, and like this people will only start to realize this like after like this bull cycle, right? Like maybe in
Right.
2026 or something,
Right.
which is like Richard maybe created a way of just how can I put it? Like he created a way of dropping value within the entire network, like value attached to the entire network, right? And
Yeah.
that could be like insane, right? Absolutely insane, right? And that's something that like other people try to copy for sure. Okay, because it's not just a matter of forking a network; it's a matter of like forking an entire ecosystem, and then like finding a way for it to reach the same value as like it's as its predecessor, right? It's insane. I think if it works, it's just absolutely crazy.
Right. Right. So
Because
if
again, we're not talking about a token; we're talking about an entire ecosystem.
right. Right. So $1.50 maybe nothing. I mean, it could easily go to 250, 250. And who knows how hard, if there's enough euphoria in the market, how high people could take it to. You're right, 100%. So I think people should understand that. This isn't a matter, it's not a mechanical thing where it just goes up and somebody pegs it. I think it's going to pump, dump, and it could go well past $1. And there's absolutely game mechanics and reasons for that. You got to get rid of all the sellers, just like they did with Bitcoin. Does it go to 150K? Maybe, if they want to, if they feel like, and then they'll settle it back at whatever their fair value is for it, and bring it back down.
Sure.
So
And
pDAI could
look,
go much higher.
Yeah, and look,
Yeah.
like when I said like to $10, I know that like it sounds like crazy, like 230
No, let's
billion
talk about it.
market cap, but like again, we need to think of the total amount that's locked with Richard, with liquidity pools, with like etc. And
Okay, let's talk
like
about that.
the last cycle, like for example, Shiba did like 55 or 60 billion market cap, right? Like there
Yes.
will be coins with much higher market caps this cycle, like for sure,
Right.
because it always happens, right? So again, I'm just saying this is possible for pDAI because it is indeed in fact a meme coin. We just when I say we, just like the pDAI cult just onboarded Eric Wall. like when I say but look, like onboarded like to the cult, because like for him it's a total joke, but that's fine because it's a meme. It's fine, right? You can just joke about it, right? And you can believe the cult. You know that like it's impossible, or for some other people, oh, maybe it's possible. It doesn't really matter, right? It's just like it's like any belief system, right?
Yeah, and it's crypto. You're right about the ship thing. So we're saying
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5, but realistically, in a bull market, it could go to $10. It'll go beyond what
Yeah, it can
anybody
go much higher
expects,
than we-
and that
Exactly.
you're right. That's going to appropriately put it in a position where the game mechanics are going to come into play for them to resettle it, exhaust all the
Yeah.
sellers, and then peg it with no issues at all whatsoever.
Yeah, and look, and like it's like people saying that like Hex going to $1. I think like everybody thinks that Hex goes like somewhere between 1, 2. So either it goes like doesn't like it goes like around the prior all-time high, like 50 cents, or
Right.
way beyond that, like 10, right? Something like unbelievable, because the markets always work like this, right? It's like it's undervalued or super overvalued. It's never like the not like what
Right,
people
right.
expect, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And because there's a desire to peg this to $1, or at least that's what the premise is here. It needs to go. It makes sense for it to go much higher than what anybody expects it to go to first. Yeah,
Sure.
because it's not just arbitrary. It's not like SHIB. It's going. So, okay. Chat. Do you have any questions
And
of
look,
something
look,
we haven't
that
covered?
would be the only.
What
That
do we
would
miss?
be like. Look at this is fucking insane. Like this, like that would be like the only scenario, one that I think at least one, and any scenario that I can think of, where a community would be happy for the price to dump.
Say that again. The what?
Imagine if pDAI goes to $2, $3,
Right.
like it would be okay for the price to dump to one, right? So it would be okay for it to halve, right, from $3 to $1.50 and then to $1, right? It would be okay to dump, like for the price to dump. People wouldn't be like upset, right?
Right.
They wanted it to go to one, so every time it goes up, people like don't mind if it goes back to one, right? Because it's in their minds like it's worth one, right? For absolutely no reason at all, but
Right. No, Tin Top, that's not what we mean. Tin Top says, I'm not sure pDAI will act like a meme coin and not stabilize at a dollar value. No, we're not saying that at all. We're saying it will stabilize at a dollar value. We're just saying that it's going to go much higher.
yeah,
And
first initially, yeah.
okay, so let's say it goes higher. Then just really quick, I know we've covered it, but people, I think, still have the same question. Now, how does it peg to a dollar? We're just going to say it in a different roundabout way that we've said again because
Sure.
it's important. Now, what happens? Let's
it's
say
super
pDAI's
important. It's super important.
pDAI's at $3. People start selling. How does it peg now at a dollar? What happens now?
So now it's at $3. Like, what will probably happen is a lot of sellers, right? So it starts to drop.
It starts to drop, right?
Yeah, let's say that it goes below, right? Goes to 50 cents. Then people go, there's opportunity again. Buy it up, right? Like new buyers, but their buying power is much less than the ones that like sold initially, right? So this is a cycle, right? Up and down. So there will be a point to stabilize. There will be a point where there's not a lot of sellers, or at least sellers with enough buying power that they can completely shatter the chart, basically. So at that point, somebody, for example, Richard Hart, could just buy enough to make sure that it's always pegged to, for example, to let's assume the largest pool is Pulse, right?
Okay.
Or whatever, just for this example's sake, right?
Right.
You could just use Pulse, for example, or other coins just to buy it up, right? Every time it drops a little bit, boom, just buy it up. And when it's like after a long time, people just accept it's one, right? And there will be bots doing that arbitrage as well, not only Richard but other bots, etc., right?
Okay.
Now, like in this example, the vault it doesn't really play a huge part, right? Because you wouldn't it
So right
would
now
play in the sense that
so to sum up what we just explained,
like,
we've got this big spread, and now the price is teetering up and down around $1 on its own based on arbitrage bots and possibly somebody else buying and selling to keep it around there. Now, the vaults, PMaker vaults have nothing to do with it yet. The swing is just getting closer to $1 from where it is now to, who knows, $5, back down, back up, back down, back down. And now what? So it's in a range now between 95 cents and $1.20 or something. Okay, now what?
Yeah. Now, basically, somebody could activate the vault and say, look, you can deposit Pulse, Hex, PulseX, Inc. here, and you can mint pDAIs, right? Okay. So there's an oracle that is just checking the price of those coins. And you deposit like those coins, and you mint the enough the number of pDAI that matches the number of the amount of collateral deposit in dollars. When I say matches, you never you can never borrow 100%, right? I'm saying you borrow for example 50%, right? 100% collateralization ratio, like you were saying before.
Right.
So
and just
use
to go back,
the normal mechanics. Yeah.
And just to go back just a step, remember we talked about the Pulse, the whole ecosystem, RH ecosystem's value is around 20 to 25 billion, okay? Including the OA. So you now have to imagine that's 10x higher, 20x, 30x higher, okay? And he's talking about putting those coins at the new value, which could be, 100 billion, 400 billion, 500 billion or more into collateralize. And he only needs to put in small percentages to do that, to mint more pDAI.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Continue.
Yeah. So basically, Yeah, basically at that point,
That's it.
the
That
market,
pegs it.
the market can just like decide, look, this is a stablecoin, right? So let's just open DeFi protocols for this too. So Fiat, for example, and Fame, and like PDPD, which is Hex1's new version, it's called PDPD. So PDPD, like protocols that can just use pDAI as collateral, right? So
Right.
yeah, from that
Right.
moment, people can just like borrow pDAI from the Maker Vault, and boom, and then just
boom.
deposit into those protocols, right?
Wow.
So normal stablecoin.
Yeah. So
Simple.
that I think that partly answered Tin Top's question. The last one was, isn't there a point or purpose of having stabilized? So that's the purpose. Then it can now be used as collateral all over the chain. We know the value of it, and it's fixed now, right? Because there's somebody who has a massive bag. And right now it's so funny in crypto, people are snuffing the OA part of the RH ecosystem, not understanding when it comes into play in pDAI, which I think is what's going to happen to it. And if anyone chat still doesn't understand that, ask. We'll really re-explain it a little differently. But when he collateralizes the ecosystem or part of it, then people will understand what the OA coins are for. Would you say that's a correct statement?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and maybe it'll make sense then to people, like, why is there all this value? He's not, believe the Lord Jesus Christ says, are there AI or bots that somehow assist the growth or stabilization of pDAI? I hope this isn't, no. I think, Sin, you were just covering that with the arbitrage bots. Maybe you can explain that a little more. How will the bots assist in the growth and stabilization of pDAI?
They're already doing that. They're already doing that. With the A-Tropa ecosystem, which is like and look, this is I didn't even touch on the A-Tropa, right? Which is
we haven't even
huge
touched
part.
A-Tropa. Yes.
Yeah, because like it's the largest liquidity pool on the pDAI, right? So it's a huge part of the pDAI stabilization, pool.
100%.
So and I think the goal of MariaDev was actually to do that, A-Tropa to be like a stabilization pool for pDAI, right?
Yes.
So, and I think it will work like that. So. Like that's what I'm saying. Look, I wasn't even like taking into account A-Tropa and what they're doing, right? So if we take that into account, it's like the probability is just like increase 10 to 20% at least minimum, right?
So,
of pDAI holding, right? The pay once
right.
there. Yeah.
So to take the technicals out of what we just talked about, I made a video a while back called A-Tropa, the Wall Street of Crypto. When you guys have a chance, you can go back
Very
and watch
good video,
that.
by the way.
Oh, thanks, brother. And what I did is I came up with a way to explain these arbitrage bots in the way that, all these traders on Wall Street and all these different firms that do different things are moving prices to where they need to be for everything to interact and work together. And it becomes one big kind of, I think they call that, there's a name for that, like a straw man. I don't know, there's a name. But it becomes like it's an organism, like a living, breathing organism in and of itself. Yeah. And the video will help, I think, helps understand what all these, AI and all these bots are going to be doing in the background to create all this movement of price. Because there are things right now in A-Tropa with different tokens right now on PulseChain that are doing that exact thing right now. And you're absolutely right. A-Tropa is burning pDAI. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What else is burning pDAI right now?
I mean, I'm sure there are many protocols already.
There's a lot of protocols.
Because let me see if I can see it. I had it open, I think. Look, the dead address already owns almost 1% of pDAI.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's at least one dead address. Okay, there could be others, right? But the one that I'm seeing is the OX that 369. Yeah, it's almost one. It's 0.8. So soon it will be 1%. Yeah. So, I mean, there are for sure protocols burning pDAI because we can see that on chain. I don't know which. But I know that they are there doing their part. So yeah, and I think again, A-Tropa will play a huge role because they have set up like a web of protocols that just incentivize arbitrage bots to to arbitrage between them, basically, like pegging the ratios. So when one pumps, the others pump as well. So it's like here Hart's law, right?
Gotcha.
But it was very well set up by MariaDev. It's not something like that easy to do, and he had to spend a lot of time and coin to accumulate all those coins in order to to use them. So hats to him, because it's I think it's going to be a huge and critical role of the entire pDAI narrative, and it will also maybe kickstart the development of DeFi protocols around the A-Tropa, because that would be very important as well, in my opinion. Humble opinion,
100%.
because I could be 100% wrong, of course.
Dude, 100%. Friendship confirmed. Yes, smash that like button. Really appreciate your support. If you guys are watching, you're new, subscribe to the channel. Sin, I'm going to show you something. I want to get your opinion on it right after this. 1 second. All right. This is a tweet. Let's see if you can see it. Now, RH posted this back in September 29th, okay? Not too long ago. Now, let's see here. Okay. What is he telling us in this tweet? I think this is probably the key point.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a hard law, basically. Yeah. And that is also one of the principal reason why he didn't move to V3, right? Because Hart's law takes mostly effect in V2, in the V2 world, let's say, where everything needs to move synchronously, let's say, or in the same when somebody deposits, they need to deposit the same amount in both sides. It doesn't work with ticks like V3.
Okay, so what is he? What is this? Is this just Hart's law? Will you explain this to us?
Yeah, what he basically means is that when
and why is he why is he focused on DAI in this explanation? Is he giving us a hint here?
Making for so if but why are you saying DAI?
Well, he's using DAI to explain this example, where he says if you had $100 million of DAI.
Okay, yeah. I
mean, then he
like,
says the liquidity of a well-functioning market isn't sitting in any order book. Do we get any clues for pDAI in this?
Because he's sitting in the bids. I mean, again, maybe. I think. I think that. I mean, maybe. Not sure. I think. I mean, yeah, sure. Could be interpreted that way. could be interpreted for pDAI, but I think it's just a matter of probably explaining why these types of pools are better for price pump potentially because things move with one another. Okay, they're not isolated. Like in V3s, it's not that they're isolated because you have ranges of prices, it works much differently. Like here, the liquidity moves together, right? It's different the way that it works, basically. Yeah, but yeah, somebody was saying that it's the A-Tropa burns pDAI, so that there you have it. The A-Tropa ecosystem burns the pDAI, and again, I think because they have such a huge percentage of the pDAI liquidity, I think that protocols will sprout from those guys for sure. They won't be like just sitting there doing nothing.
Gotcha. So, do you have any thoughts about where we could see the most sell pressure as we move forward now, as we just close in on $1? Let's say that's like the first major, obviously the final destination, but do you see any areas where people can anticipate a lot of sell pressure before we blast past $1?
Probably like probably 1 cent, 10 cents, 50 cents, and then obviously $1, right? And then it's like the especially the first time, the closer you are to $1, like the more sell pressure you will have for sure, right? So it might take some time, or it doesn't. It might just like poof, go there like super fast. We don't know, right? I have no idea, but I would say these price levels, but again only from from an emotional perspective, right? It's not, this is like, I'm not doing TA, but like in any way, those price
Right.
ranges are like purely emotional.
We're looking really good. Where do you think we'll go?
Yeah, look at that baby. Oh my god, looks beautiful.
It's great. It's beautiful. Yeah. And the amount of people that have flooded this thing from the beginning is just insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
Where do you think we're going to go in this cycle? What is it? Cycle 6 of Bitcoin? I don't know. For this cycle, how high do you think we could go? Because do you think we might blast past $1 in this bull run? I think it's possible. But
Sorry, for what? For Bitcoin?
no, for DAI.
What's the all-time high for this cycle for pDAI?
What do you think? Yeah, you think we peg it at the end of this cycle, or do you think we're just going to make a big milestone? And where do you think that might be?
No, if we peg, it's not at the top, right? It's going to be much after that, at least in my opinion. But again, I don't know what the top for pDAI, right? If it goes to $1, like that would be like 23 billion market cap. So I think it can go way beyond that. So,
but do you think it'll do it this cycle, or do you think this is a project that is going to take us into
no, for this
the next
cycle for sure, man. Like, yeah,
This
this
cycle.
cycle. You don't have
Wow.
to wait that longer. A couple of months, like 3 to 6 months, like max.
Wow,
Yeah.
that would be unbelievable. I think you shorted out some people's computers. It very much could happen this cycle. We've got a lot of positive things happening. The SEC is going to be drastically different when the new
Oh yeah.
Group comes in here. We know that Gensler is already leaving in December. I think the case is going
Yeah, the case
to
will be
vaporize. Yeah, the case is going to
Yeah.
vaporize for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
That will be the catalyst for PulseChain, because
Yeah.
like I think Richard wants that moment to like a little bit before that to start pumping, like because if the overall prices are pumping like 100%, let's say, like overall, right? Or like it'll like from the bottom, let's say 500 600%, right? From the bottom, like people notice it, and at the time, like because when the cases drop, there will be news, right? So people will look into the prices and be like, all right, it's already pumped a little bit, let me start to dip my toes into this shit, and then yeah, I think that will be a huge catalyst for the next big pump.
Wow. I mean, you've got almost 400x to get to $2, and if this thing starts moving, who knows how high it could go? Who knows?
I think look, until the end of the year, it's going to be at least 10 cents. At least 10 cents.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's not that high. It's not that high.
It's not that high. Now that I feel like I have a new perspective, even how to look at it. So this has been really good discussion. Really good discussion. Chat, what do you guys think? You guys have any more questions? You have any comments you want to make while we have Sin here? But I definitely feel like I have a new perspective on it, and I understand why it actually is for the game mechanics. It needs to go well past $1 to make sense. Yeah, 100%, 100%. He means it will peg before June. He said 6 months max. Well, he's saying it could happen in 3 to 6 months. because it's going to happen this cycle.
Look, sorry. No, yeah, I mean the cycle top could happen like any time between 3 to 6 months from now. Yeah, that's what I think. So like, and I don't think it will peg like much after that. So I would say like 12 months at least of like going up and down, blah, blah, blah. Like like at least 12 months to peg for sure from the top. But I could be wrong. But I think it will take time. It will take time.
Okay.
There's a lot. There's a lot of there's going to be a lot of volatility, right? A lot of.
Going to be a lot of volatility.
Yeah.
Tron says,
when I say 12 months, it's I'm being generous, right? I think.
You're being generous. Yeah. You're saying it might escalate and start happening. And, I think so because we forget how exponential the growth can be. You remember you've got creators just in PulseChain that were not on board with pDAI that are now getting on board with pDAI. And some of the biggest creators on PulseChain, I believe your friend Somi is now talking a lot about pDAI. So you have to understand exponentially how much it'll grow. It was an outlier thing. Now it's getting more known. It's becoming more of an acceptable thing, and it'll spread from here into the general crypto market as well. So it could start to grow extraordinarily fast. I mean, just the chart itself has changed dramatically into, you were in, a trend line that was down here, and now the trend line is moving into a much more vertical position. We talked about this in the live streams, and of course, you've got a wave like this. We're in this wave right now, and then you could go into this wave. Okay.
Boom.
And that wave,
cents, baby.
that wave would look like this. Like you see it in some tokens now, and that would just propel you right into 10 cents very, very quickly. It would be very fast. So it could start accelerating very quickly. So yeah, definitely pack your bags. Let's answer this question.
When I'm saying 10 cents is like that would be
first stop.
Like no, and it's not even the first stop. What I mean 10 cents is like there would be a lot of volatility then, so it would drop a lot, and 10 cents for me it would be like the first proper resistance zone. That would need to gain support, and that it would take some time. I think when I say some time, it really depends because we're on a fucking bull run. So I don't know. It can take a long time. It's like 30 days, right? I don't know what a long time is during the bull run, the proper bull run. So, but I think it's not going to be that easy to overcome the 10 cents, right? After we do, it's going to be crazy, right? But
gotcha. That's a big threshold.
Yeah, but I could be wrong again. I could be 100% wrong. My TA is very poor. I only do Fibonacci's and that's it. Retracements, Fibonacci, that's it. That's what I'm comfortable with.
Well, we can run some fibs on this too. I mean, where do you want to go from?
Look at that baby. It's insane, right?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
There we go.
It's going to be off the charts, yeah.
Yeah, because it's usually off, it's usually off the charts like for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Usually, but
yeah,
that's why I say 10 cents, right? Because
I do feel, just looking at this chart, we need a little bit more sideways consolidation, and then you can see, and you see this very commonly in crypto charts, where when you zoom back out, you see that what we thought was incredible ends up being just this little tiny blip, and then you see the actual move of the coin. So guys, it's just building momentum right now. It's just building momentum, and it's dropping jaws. So when this actually moves, this little blip here where we're all, debating blah, 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 is going to be just flat. It's going to be flat. Okay. You're only going to, it's going to be a mountain.
Flat, exactly.
Yeah. You're going to only be able to use a log chart to ever see it again. Tron asks, how high would pHEX be when pDAI is $1? That's a great question. So I'll let Sin take it away on this. How high will pDAI or pHEX be?
pHEX, yeah. That's a good question. Like, again, everybody expects like $1 to $3, right? I think much higher, right? Either something substantially higher, like $10, $20, something crazy like that, or just like 50 cents, 60 cents. I think it's either one of these options. I don't see it like doing $1 or $2 or $3. I think it's going to be much higher than that, or something much lower because it's already new. Like I think like the only problem for me with Hex is like the only buyers of Hex on PulseChain are it's mostly richer, and like most of the new people prefer other coins, right? Because new is always better, and don't people commonly don't see Hex on PulseChain as a new coin, even though it is a new coin, right? But it is what it is, right? Um, so I think like that's the only reason why I think it could, if it doesn't pump that much, it's because of this, right? But I still own shitloads of Hex, and I didn't sell it, so yeah. I hope it goes way beyond what I'm expecting, but like $10 easy, right? $10 easy. I know it sounds crazy right now, but
$10 on PHEX.
yeah, easy.
$10 PHEX. So
Yeah.
if pDAI gets to $1, PHEX could easily be. Now, if when we were earlier talking about the difference between pDAI being a meme and moving around, going well past $1, coming back down, bouncing around, and then pDAI pegging is another mechanic that comes into play at some point. Now, why the prices of these RH projects can go much higher than what anybody realizes is that the collateralization process pumps the tokens. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So,
no, the collateralization process doesn't pump or doesn't do anything to the token, right?
Okay.
The only thing that you can do with the collateralization process is put something in a vault and borrow something out, and that something out that you can borrow is pDAI.
pDAI. But then I guess what I meant
Doesn't
was
do anything.
then the pDAI can be used to stock buyback, so to speak, PHEX.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
I'm assuming like a random guy. If it's Richard, like for Richard himself, yeah, of course. Like for him himself, he can just deposit Hex, for example, borrow pDAI, and then buy more Hex. But then you would have to pay attention of the because of if he just starts selling pDAI for Hex again, the peg will drop, right? So there's a situation there. That's why I don't think that he's going to do that.
Hang on. If he just buys PHEX, if he buys PHEX, or let's say he buys PX and HEX, okay, buys them.
No, but if he buys it, he needs to spend something in return, right?
So he's going to spend the pDAI that he took out.
But if he's spending the pDAI, he's fucking up the ratio, right?
Well, because he's supposed to mint the pDAI, and then.
Look, if he mints the pDAI and then deposits stability pools, stuff like that, like places where he's not going to sell the pDAI, right? Then it's probably fine, right? But I don't see him like minting pDAI and then selling pDAI, right? He could do that, sure, but then it would probably be the largest sell pressure on pDAI, right?
He would swap it for others. Oh, he would just swap it for other stables.
Yeah, but swapping is basically like changing the ratio in the pools, right? So when you're swapping, like in that case, he would be depositing pDAI and removing something else, like say PHEX, for example. So he would be making.
If he took out pDAI, he needs to repay the loan to Maker. Mm-hmm. So he would swap it for another P stable and put it back in, right?
No, but to pay the loan, you don't add collateral. To pay the loan, you need to burn pDAI.
You got to burn it, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see him if he's involved with the PMaker vault, is just to mint pDAI and add it to DeFi protocols, for example. But even then, I don't see it that much plausible. That's why I'm saying that he could do that. He could add the tokens to the vault, etc. Blah, 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 mint the pDAI, but not use the pDAI for nothing. But yeah, sure, he could do that, but why? Okay, I don't see a reason for that, right? I think it perhaps makes more sense if he just uses all the coins that he has to do arbitrage on the peg, basically, because that's easier, right? But look, I could be 100% wrong. And I love the PMaker narrative. I love the PMaker narrative for the common user, for me, right? Because then I could have tokens there and then mint pDAI, right? I like that for me, but for Richard himself, I mean, sure, he could do that again to maybe secure a large quantity of tokens, to give confidence that it's a stablecoin. But I doubt that he would sell his like the pDAI that he mints, right? That's the only thing I'm saying.
Not sell it, swap it. Well, I know what you mean. Same
Yeah,
thing.
but swapping
Same
is
thing.
selling.
Same thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's an interesting thing. Tin Top. I mean, Shaq says Pulse just appear if it just does 30x on PulseDAI will reach around. Yeah.
Thanks,
Tin Top. I can't wrap my head around everyone not cashing out at $1 when the mechanics of the maker contract controls the peg, along with sell pressure. You can only collateralize and redeem $1. Okay.
Sure.
I know we touched on this a little bit. But
this is
let's
what
break that down. This is a good question, and I think
very good question.
I've been asked
very
that
good question.
about a dozen times in a different language. So let's break that
No,
down.
but
a little bit here.
look. Yeah.
Okay.
So what he's saying is that remember cashing out at one. Cashing out at one. Okay. Look, cashing out. Cashing out means what? Because I think what he thinks is that you can just like use the DAI that you currently have, go to the vault and give to the vault and remove the collateral. But that I don't think that's what will do, right? Like the vault in DAI, it's a personal vault, right? You can only access somebody else's vault if it goes into liquidations. Okay, if it's liquidable, and for it to go into liquidations, the collateral value needs to drop enough so that it becomes liquidatable, right? Liquidatable.
Right.
You got it. So there will be sell pressure, right? But it's from people selling the pDAI for tokens on Liquidity pool, right?
Right.
Let me say control the peg. Okay. So, and when people collateralize, it's like their own tokens that they're depositing, and it's the pDAI that they're meeting. It's for themselves. The vaults are personal, right? It's personal vaults.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. That like Richard could deposit tokens in the collateral, not mint pDAI, just for the vault to have collateral. But again, that doesn't need to happen, right? That doesn't really need to happen. What needs to happen is like this vault accepts tokens, right? Which are HEX, PLXX, blah, 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 all the tokens that people want,
right?
And it will mint a token, okay, in regards to the dollar value of the collateral you're depositing. So that's the only thing that the PMaker vault needs. That's it. It doesn't need to be right now collateralized, blah blah. It doesn't need any of that, right? If Richard decides to arbitrage the token, the pDAI token price to make it peg to one through arbitrage, and the vault works in the sense that you can mint pDAI, people can just mint pDAI and use it as a stablecoin. That's it. Richard doesn't need to deposit the tokens in the vault, right? You can use it as in the liquidity because that's far easier and makes more sense, right? At least for me, but I could be wrong. And he would still support pDAI.
Right. I think another thing we talked about was incentives and protocols that pop up. Tin Top, this is Tin Top's question about
because look at this.
Why
Richard
everybody
has like
why would not every single person cash out before or at $1? And I think it's because protocols and incentives will pop up where you can use the pDAI and you can generate even more yield or income with it.
People will cash out a lot. Yeah. That's why it will have so much volatility before we can even consider a parity.
Right.
The peg. So before that, it will have loads of volatility.
Okay.
People need to understand that.
We talked a lot about that earlier in the stream. You guys are just jumping on the volatility, how high we can go, why we were tossing around prices like $5 and $10 as possibilities, and they are very likely. But let's go and focus in on this question about why wouldn't everybody sell? So what kind of protocols could pop up and what incentives? Obviously, the most obvious one would be basically farms using pDAI in different ways and just basic money markets where you can stake your pDAI and get a yield on it, for example. That's a very simple, easy to understand. You have that for the US dollar. There's over $6 trillion parked of capital right now outside the markets. They're collecting anywhere from 4 to 5% yield. So you could easily have things like that for pDAI, and who knows what the yield might be, anywhere from 4 to 8%, who knows. What else could pop up? What other reasons would people have not to sell it?
That's
And
I think that's the main reason, right? The main reason is using the coin to do other stuff, lending mostly, right? Depositing the coin in liquidity pools. Look, I think the main reason will be Richard pairing DAI with pDAI on PulseX and giving out to the incentive token. You know, for
okay, say that.
for the firms. Sorry.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So basically, you could just add it to the farms, the DAI, pDAI, pool, and for the ink farms.
For the
So
ink
that
farms,
would
right?
probably be that would be probably be the largest incentive. And my bet is that will happen at some point, right? That will happen. Yeah,
Okay.
I could be
What kind
wrong,
of
but
farms? What kind of farms? What do you see?
ink, just the ink farms.
Just the ink farms.
Yeah, that would be like enough reason for people to go to use the pDAI.
Incentive token. Yeah. So they would.
Yeah,
He'd make it one of the most profitable farms, probably.
yeah, exactly. I'm not
And
sure. It doesn't need to
no, sure,
be
we don't know.
even like crazy profitable, right? It just
Okay.
needs to be enough APR that people are happy to deposit. And again, you can do it with Pulse with the PulseChain ecosystem tokens like PulseX, etc. You could open the farms for pDAI as well against those tokens, right? So
Right.
people don't
Right.
even need to sell for that, right? They could just pair it with other coins, right? So this is probably
Mm.
the simplest scenario where
Yes.
you would put some
Very
money,
basic.
but you wouldn't need to put that much money because people would be happy to participate just to farming, right?
Right.
So yeah,
And obviously, if the price of incentive at this time and INC token is also ratcheting up beyond what
just give me a
people.
second. Sorry,
Okay.
I need to take the just.
So if the price of incentive is ratcheting up beyond what any of us can expect right now, let's say it's going into the hundreds of dollars range, you can imagine, obviously, people will be incentivized to use those farms. So imagine pDAI paired with PulseX. Okay, PulseX being something a lot of people are realizing could be a very long-term hold. And I've said this in my live streams that when there is market capitulations and drawdowns, PulseX may draw down the least because of the buy and burn mechanics. And when the drawdown happens, there's a lot less tokens actually, and it might hold its value some of the strongest. So imagine there was a farm that was PulseX to pDAI, okay?
Yeah.
And who knows what the yield would be? It does, it could be high or not. I mean, it depends on how fast
Yeah.
the value of the ink is
It doesn't
ratcheted up.
even matter, right? It doesn't even
and-
need to be that high, right?
Yeah, and who knows what the price of ink will be? So you would want to use it. Why would you dump? Let's say
Exactly.
you had 100,000 pDAI right now. Okay, you got a bag, and it's getting close to $1. And at what point, at what point do you think these farms could pop up? Because, would it be after they peg, or would he kind of use it as like a
Near the
a
pegging.
carrot? Yeah,
They,
near the
they, they
pegging.
would probably be like the last the last thing needed like to peg.
Yeah. So imagine you saw
But
hints
again,
that there was these farms coming, or you saw it and it wasn't active
let
yet.
me say like 12 months from now.
Yeah, let's say 12
Something
months
like
from
that.
now, and you had
Yeah.
pDAI and PulseX. Now you could put it in the farm and earn ink. And ink's not
Yeah.
$2 at this point. Maybe it's $100. Maybe it's
Yeah,
$50.
exactly.
Maybe it's $500. Who knows? You might be incentivized to want to hold on to that pDAI and farm
Exactly.
it to earn that ink. And
Exactly.
maybe he makes it one of the few things you can pair on the farms, because you've noticed he's popped up other tokens in the past and removed them. So another way to do it is to focus on pDAI and make that a major part of the farms. So everyone's forgetting that crypto, the game mechanics are about incentives, and who knows how he uses pDAI. And then why would anybody dump it at $1 when you could earn an incredible yield of incentive from having that paired with, let's say, PulseX or your HEX or whatever it is. So
You can earn free money from your free money. I mean,
you can
it's
earn free
fucking
money. Yeah.
unbelievable.
So now
From
you're
your free
100,000. Maybe you sell $10,000 of it. You're like, great, I'm gonna pay off all my bills. Whatever.
Exactly.
And,
But
then
but
you wouldn't let it go.
I agree.
You're gonna
Exactly.
stake
I
it.
think
You're gonna
people
farm it.
might sell a little bit, right? That's
Yeah.
where the sell pressure. I mean, I'm sure there will be
Yeah.
lots of people like selling everything because
They
my
don't
god,
care.
now
Right,
I'm a
right.
millionaire. Blah, blah. Sure. But after
Sure.
we have that,
Sure.
right? After it goes to $1, jumps to 1 cent, and then goes back up to 10 cents, drops. Blah, blah. After
Yeah.
all that, right?
Yeah.
Because it will happen for sure.
Yeah.
I think people will do that, right? People will probably just hold a little bit, right?
Right,
And
right.
sell a little
Ma-
bit, sorry, and hold most of it on these
Yeah.
protocols, right? At
Maybe.
least during while the price of ink is going up, right?
Yeah.
Or is up, or is giving them enough
Yeah.
for them to hold in terms of APR in
Ink,
dollars. Right?
Ink may be one of the most volatile, but it may be the one that does the most X's.
Ink will do the most X's in my opinion. Like from like everything.
There you go.
Like
Yeah.
like Ink will do the most X's, like for sure.
We'll do another video where we go
For
into
sure.
that.
I say
think
for
that'll be
sure, and
good.
then like, oh no, not for sure, right? Not for
I
sure.
think it could be
My
because it
opinion.
makes sense.
In my
and,
opinion.
and if it is doing the most X's, the price is ratcheting up faster than anything else, and all of a sudden pDAI farms pop up. Come on, like, and these are the most basic use cases when people ponder why wouldn't everyone dump it. I mean, it seems like obvious game mechanics. You'd get people.
Exactly.
No one's going to dump it. And as a matter of fact, the farms may be so valuable that anyone who dumped it, let's say pDAI got past 50 cents and a bunch of people are selling at 50, 60 cents, they're going to buy back at $1 just to put it in the farms. You got to understand, that's why it's called incentives token. I'm sure he has an idea that he's going to use it to pump, the keep the chain strong, of course. It makes the most sense. It's kind of in the same way right now people in the money markets.
I think the most interesting pool would be pDAI Ink. A pDAI Ink pool would be fucking glorious.
A pDAI Ink pool?
Yeah.
Well, no, man. Then you've got a stable, what's supposed to be a stable asset paired with one of the most volatile assets. Would that be good?
Why not? Like, because you would give people a way to switch between themselves, right?
Yeah.
A bridge. It would be like a bridge, like between themselves, right? That's because that's what you want, right? Or not? I don't know. I'm just saying stuff, right?
Yeah.
Just saying stuff.
Yeah. Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, I love Ink as well, man. The Ink for me is like it's my favorite. From all of them, it's my favorite. I love Ink, and I love Ink while there's no fucking governance. Oh man, I really hate the governance. I hope like Richard decides everything. Fuck us, plant. We don't know anything, so
it doesn't need governance. I don't even think that.
Yeah,
matters,
it doesn't
man.
need
Who
that
cares about
shit. Yeah, exactly.
Who gives a crap?
Like governance is for Maker and all that stuff. Like not for like Ink. Ink is like
100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. Gumblazer, can't imagine the yield on pDAI Ink. Yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like people will be like, people will go nuts, right? That's my point.
Yeah,
they're
gonna go nuts.
Like I'm just thinking of the tokens like that, like of the token which is Ink, that would make people want to like deposit more, right? And I think it would be Ink, right? The Ink would be fucking glorious. People go crazy. Deposit Ink and pDAI, boom.
Oh yeah.
But I'm a total degen, right? So yeah, my opinion is super biased because of that.
Okay, let's answer this one. Insane. From Tron, what coins do you recommend? One, focus on it. Wait, no. We can't answer that one right now. This is a pDAI stream. Yet another one. Tron said, if you had to give a percentage of the likelihood of pDAI pegging to $1, like, are you 99.9% certain barring an act of God? Can you give your percentage confidence? What's a percentage of 90%. Your confidence then?
I'm 90%.
90%. 90%. Okay.
Like look, like again, I'm gonna.
Why the 10%? Tell us 10%.
I'm going for me, which is
okay.
Look, guys, like a billionaire decided to create his own network, right, and fork the tokens from the other network, where he himself, like was holding value, and he decided not to sell the tokens that he got that he minted for free. And like, what reason would he have not to want pDAI to peg to one? Like, what reason? There's no fucking reason. Like, he wants that to happen, right? So, like, I'm sure he will do everything in his power for that to happen, because that would be the number one achievement, like has any human being has done in DeFi. Okay, like people need to understand this. So it's like you're creating a stable coin out of like nowhere, right?
Right.
Like if the value comes from nowhere, people wouldn't understand. People will be like, how is this even possible? But it is, right? Like we understand, but they wouldn't understand. For them it would be like fucking magic, right? Like this guy is a magician, and he can create value out of nowhere, like stablecoin value. Not talking about the token, like a proper stablecoin, right?
He would solidify himself as like Satoshi 2.0.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
The Heartman would become Satoshi 2.0, guys. Like really.
He would be like the fucking god of DeFi, like the proper god of DeFi, right?
Of crypto. It's a real crypto.
Of crypto. Like there's absolutely no reason there's no reason you can give me that will tell me that Richard does not want that. And if Richard if it would benefit Richard, and especially greatly, it would greatly benefit Richard. look, guys, like I think it's gonna happen. That's it. That's the reason. I don't give a shit about the technicals and the vaults and the liquidity. I don't give a shit about anything else. The tropa, fuck everything else. The only reason is actually Richard, you know, like wanting this because like for him it would be good because he would be like even more billionaire, right? So like
For
that's
the
the reason.
glory.
Boom. That's it for the fucking glory. Yeah.
For the glory. For the glory. Well, okay,
That's
but
it.
you said
That's the
90. Then
reason.
why'd you say 90%? You said 90%, man.
Yeah, because of this, because it's like Richard's network, either we like it or not. Like network in the sense of like ownership of tokens, and I'm sure that he
Right.
wants pDAI to peg to one, as he wants all the P coins to peg to the value of their like counterparties, right? So he absolutely wants that, especially
Okay.
for the pDAI stablecoin because it was his largest holding.
Right.
I mean that's it. That's enough reason for me. Boom, it's
Oh,
enough.
it was his
More than
largest?
enough.
Yeah. He has a lot, right? How many does he
Yeah.
have? What does he have?
He had like more than 10%.
He has 2%. And then he's the largest. Second is proof of work Bitcoin. Is that correct?
No, but
The,
wait,
the,
what?
the
Proof
BTC,
of what?
the PW, the BT, the
Okay, it might be. I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay,
I could
okay.
let me actually. I think I have it open here with the. Right now, the largest holder of DAI is, it's the PSM vault. The DAI PSM is the peg stability module vault. So
Okay.
it's the USDC vault. What I mean is the vault where people deposit USDC and mint DAI, basically.
Okay.
That's right now it has 13%, but it used to be Richard. So, but I mean, look, there's that for me. That's enough reason. And like, I 100% like accept like who disagrees with this. Like, 100% understand. But my philosophy is like, look, the guy, he would not fork the network and like give the airdrop to people if he did not want the coins to be valuable. If he wanted the coins to be worth nothing, he would not have done that. Okay?
Yeah.
That's it. That's simple logic. That's it.
So was that your dead giveaway? Give us your thing that convinced you.
Yeah, that's it. From day
Say-
one, that was like the guy's gonna fork a network. Like I'm gonna buy the stablecoin. That's obvious, like, because it like I bought pDAI when it dumped. Like it wasn't the best. The best time was like on the day when all the ratios were fucked up. But that's like I did not buy pDAI. I bought others, but I didn't buy pDAI then. But I bought pDAI like at the lowest in August, at the end of August, like at the lowest, right? Because I knew that this is obviously like my reasoning was this: like he built a network, like he created the airdrop for what? He wants the value of these coins to be the same. That's it. That's what he wants for sure. So I'm gonna buy this shit.
Really?
That's
you
it.
were keyed in that early?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
That's nice, man. Very
Yeah.
nice. Good insight.
Yeah.
That's why we
Yeah,
talked
man.
to Sin.
And
That's why we
I
talked
did
to
the same
Sin.
for like a lot of coins. The P coins that I thought it was undervalued. They were undervalued at the time, right? Because I
Okay,
was like, I
okay.
mean, I'm sure that that he wants the coins to be valuable for sure, right? But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that the coins will be valuable. I'm just saying that the guy who founded the network wants that for like that's his like that's what he wants. Like he might not achieve that, but if he wants that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, I am to answer that question, I am 99% certain because when I break down this chain, I can't imagine it without. I cannot imagine the Heartman being powerless over the chain and being constantly looking over his shoulders, so to speak. He's going to cover all the bases with this, and
Exactly.
it's going to make real DeFi. It's going to make it very real. And
Yeah, let me just build a fucking network, like largest airdrop in the world, announce it for like fucking years, and then just like do not care about the value of the coins because
Yeah,
that it makes
you-
fucking logic, right? Because that's sensible, right? That is what a reasonable person would do, right?
Right.
Come on,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
That's retarded, man. It's,
Yeah. That's why
obviously
very
it
early
makes-
on I started making pDAI videos, and very early on I was making
exactly.
A-Tropa videos, and I got really into it because I understood that
Smart.
something
Smart
much
man.
larger had to be done
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
create the foundation for this to ride on.
Exactly.
Which is a bigger thing that I think people are forgetting. They're still just seeing this as a layer one with some tokens that are going to pump, and there's no way the Heartman did that. There's just no way.
Exactly.
There's
I mean,
no way.
like the time that it took, it was not just
Yeah.
like technical things. I'm sure it
No,
was
it
like
wasn't.
time to think think things through, right? And this is a
100%.
lot of planning.
100%.
This is like not. This is something that you need years to accomplish, right?
Yes.
If he
Yes.
accomplished this like in such a short period of time, like 1 or 2 years, like that's insane, bro. It's like phew, I wouldn't be able to for sure, because you need to like until you reach this conclusion how this could work. It's like the mental gymnastics stuff to you doing that about something that does not exist. It's insane, bro. It's like I wouldn't be able to do it. So I'm just like, you know, like praising the man who like for sure like thought about it, right?
Yeah.
Because
he had to create
wouldn't
something
do
that
this
was going to
without-
last, and it was way
Exactly.
right. There was way too much
Exactly.
time when you break down technicals and programming and that there was something else going on, and there was a lot more going on in the background than we realize, and there's still way more happening that most people
Exactly.
are not even aware about yet, and it has a lot to do with pDAI and A-Tropa.
And look,
and,
PDAI needs to survive. The one
Yeah.
thing that PDAI needs to survive, in my opinion, that's
yeah.
going to be the last test for PDAI. It's not related to anything that people are like considering. It's not technical. It's the last test for PDAI. You know what it's going to be? It's going to, Richard says, I'm going to build my own stablecoin, because that will happen. Like in my opinion, that will happen one day, right? The same way that Richard is going to say, I'm going to build my own wallet and my own blah blah, and everything
are
that
coming
people
too.
have on. And I hope he does, and I hope that
Yeah.
people still build things that compete with his products, right? Because that's
Yeah.
like the way, like that's the only way forward, right?
Yeah,
But
that's
that
how you
will be
grow.
the
Yeah.
last but true test for me, in my opinion, for pDAI, which is competition from Richard himself. And I think he will do it just to battle test fucking pDAI to make sure that it holds, right? No, but because look at X, he just made a tweet and fucking X dumped like 90%.
Why does
It's
that bother you?
retarded. Like
Why does that bother you?
no, it
You mentioned
doesn't
it
bother
before.
me, but
Yeah.
what?
You mentioned it
No,
a couple times in the stream.
it doesn't bother me. It's just it shows me something. It shows me that the market cares a lot about what he does and what he says. Well, not what he does, but what he says, right? So
Right,
if he just says like, I'm going to build a stable coin, will the market decide, oh fuck pDAI, that's not longer like, you see the logic what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think he needs to battle test like these products with himself, right? Him being the nemesis, let's say. Not in a bad way, right? This is a
No,
good thing, right?
It's
But-
how you
but
battle test
it's
it. Yeah.
Exactly, but it's a test. It's
Yeah.
going to be for me the largest one, the one that could possibly break pDAI, right? Because people will assume that Richard is no longer going to do the arbitrage for pDAI. Boom, project is that. Of course not, bro. It might be like a buying opportunity at the time. I don't know, but I'm not sure if like that's what I'm saying, that it might take a long time, because like I don't see a scenario where Richard would allow the pack to happen and then for later just come out and say, I'm gonna build a stablecoin just so, like for it to break again. I'm not like, maybe it might, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like there's so many things that could happen, right? That I don't know.
Right.
But at least in my opinion, the last test would be this one. And I'm sure Richard is watching our like this live stream, because he watches your live streams for sure. So
Come on.
he watches all Mexican live streams. So
Oh,
like,
right on.
what is the guy doing right now? Like network is lunch, he's controlling everything. He's just like chilling and buying some tokens and watching some streams, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why he's not going to stream, man. Now he's like just chilling and enjoying himself. He deserves that. Yeah, that's why it's up to us now to stream and to chill. Like it's not up to Richard, man. He's like, he already done enough. That's why I don't think he's coming back. Like
Interesting.
and I hope he doesn't come back, because the idea of
Don't-
Richard potentially coming back is it will onboard more people than Richard actually coming back, in my opinion.
Him not coming back will onboard more people than him coming back.
Yes.
Okay. You got to explain that. What's your thought process there?
He cannot make any, like, he won't make mistakes, say bad, like the wrong things on video, etc. Like right now there's like, I think, too much to lose, so it's much easier just to write stuff and to ponder about it than just doing live streams, right? So there's too much risk.
There's some truth.
It
There's
makes-
some truth in that.
It makes more sense just like to allow for people to conjure how he is and what he's thinking, like then to actually tell people what he's actually thinking, right? Like maybe
Yeah.
posts, etc. It's all fine, but actual video content, him telling you face to face, I don't think that's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen again.
Yeah, another interesting thing of what you just said is he can speak through green candles,
Yeah, exactly. He can speak through.
and there's
through
no
to the
mistakes
charts.
that can be made there. Yeah,
Exactly,
Yeah, the charts
100%.
will tell the story. Yeah,
But
100%.
like we know that he wants like other people to appear, other people to rise.
Right.
Like it's obvious, right? He doesn't show up. But he still supports other streamers. It like etc. Right? So we know that he wants that. He've always said that, right? So
Yeah.
he always said that in the past. So that like he wants people to stream because we need to do the hard work. So I really don't think that he's coming back in that sense. I think that we should enjoy and like treasure the videos that he already did, because I think that is going to be the most amazing content ever. He's not going to bother himself doing that again.
Well,
Again, maybe
I'm not gonna
somewhere,
lie.
etc. If he's invited, but maybe Joe Rogan. But apart from
I would love to do a conversation with him
because
sometime.
look, but I know, but that's the
gonna
point. Like he's going to be way more valuable if he never shows up anywhere.
Maybe
That's
it could be right. Let's see
my
what
point.
happens. I'm open to it. Open to it. Yeah. You're right. There, at least for a while. There could be a possibility that he doesn't for a while, and he just lets the green candles speak for themselves. Lets things happen. Maybe pDAI pegs finally. I mean, he's going to be solidified in history.
When X breaks the dollar, I'm sure he's gonna do a video of the green candles, lighting.
He'll just that's it. That's all he has to post, right?
But that's it, man. Like a small video of that saying congrats and boom, that's it. Like people go nuts. There's
They're
like,
gonna go nuts.
I don't seem like sitting in the chair doing the live stream, like talking to the chat. Like forget about it. That's no. We don't have that Richard Hart anymore. That Richard is gone, bros. We need to accept it because he's grown. Like past that, like he's a billionaire now. He has other things to worry about, like other people to like. It's like I don't think that we're gonna get that ever again.
That'd be wild.
Maybe again, Joe Rogan's and stuff like that. Maybe podcasts of that caliber, but he's not gonna come to us. I think
Joe Rogan
maybe to conferences that we do stuff like that, but
DK says I disagree. You're welcome to put specifics.
I hope I'm wrong, right? I hope I'm wrong because I love
now. We don't know. We don't know what you guys are disagreeing with. What part you guys are disagreeing with?
With everything.
Everything. The whole stream. No. Maybe at the very end of the bull run. Put some proof in, guys. Todd says I agree. Vitalik's actions hurt ETH. Boltcoin. But he meant Bitcoin, has no one speaking for it, so it just keep going. Yeah, that's kind of what Sin is saying. And I don't know, do Vitalik's actions hurt ETH?
Very good point. I didn't think about it, but that's a good point.
Yeah. Awesome.
Look, like Richard said it himself. Like Richard, one of the examples that resonated the most with me was when Richard said that the best time to buy everything is like super early. And for example, in the projects like Cardano and stuff like other projects, right? It's before the chain launches where you actually have the highest pump. Ethereum is the same. It's before the chain launches, and Ethereum is the one that's valued the most, etc. So there's a couple outliers like Ethereum, right, where I think that it will keep pumping. But for most chains.
Yeah.
And most projects and most everything is like before it exists, where people want to hold the most because they can dream about everything is a possibility, right? They can dream they can dream the highest basically. So
right.
So and I think again I see it happening with Richard, right? Which is like everybody thinking like he's gonna come and he's gonna say this and that, and everybody discussing the possibilities, but like he never shows up at the end. Or if he does, it's like, guys, I'm gonna do Joe Rogan, and everybody goes fucking mental or something, right? Like, look, it needs to be something like
if
this.
The candles are so high, that's it. It's spoken. It's said. And
it's said exactly that.
Too,
what else?
Right?
What else is there to say, right?
The pump just keeps going. Hey, it's spoken. It's been spoken.
Exactly, man.
Yeah. Arrow point. Everything is scam until it's.
And everybody can dream about Richard coming back, man. Which is like another layer of cult thing. Cult. Like you understand? Like it's another layer of people
Yes. It is. Yeah.
Idolizing somebody else, right?
Yeah. It's like your favorite musician or artist vanishing for a while or something. And it just adds to the mystique and the whole thing. And the valuations keep going up, the green candles keep going, and we just get a random tweet once in a while.
DK saying that we're fudding pDAI. Bro, we're doing exactly the opposite of fudding pDAI.
Fudding. Oh, we're fudding.
We're saying that it can go much higher than one, so the opposite of fun. And I have a huge bag, a juicy huge bag. So I don't.
Most of my videos are pDAI. Not most of my videos, but no, certainly not fudding pDAI. I put a couple. You can see there's. I put a link to A-Tropa, the Wall Street of crypto. I've been nonstop about the foundation of PulseChain being the importance of pDAI.
Look, bro, I built a stablecoin for Hex. I'm building a second version, and I'm talking about pDAI. So I'm extremely bullish on pDAI. Trust me.
Yeah. RH wants the glory.
Bullish.
Cryptoman says all eyes are on Pulse. Then RH will return and collect his flowers. No,
Satoshi
you said
Misa, exactly.
RH. DK says no. You said RH would FUD pDAI.
No, I
No.
didn't say you.
No,
You
he didn't
not
say
would
that.
FUD. He said that he would build his own stablecoin, and that's not FUDding. That's just like him adding more stuff to PulseChain, right? It's a good thing.
Oh, wait a
So he's
minute.
not
Oh,
FUDding, but everybody else
you
will
were saying
see
he's
is
gonna.
FUDding
He's
pDAI. See?
wait. You're saying he might even build another stablecoin on PulseChain.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Why
Whoa,
not?
whoa! This conversation just okay. I kind of
Yeah,
thought
that's what I'm
maybe you
saying.
were saying
Yeah.
that before, but then I was like, no, he didn't say that. Okay, so
Yeah, I said that. Yeah.
okay, that's what you meant by
That's
his own
the last
competition,
test, the battle test, right? The
the
final
battle test, because then
Yeah.
he can make another because there'll be way more collateral than is needed for pDAI. You could easily have another stablecoin.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
what people
I
are
guess-
not considering is that, like, in his own stablecoin, he can use a PSM mechanism like DAI does, with like the one that I just talked about, PSM, the peg stability module, where
Peg
you
stability
could have
module.
pDAI like into his stablecoin, like as a collateral. So I mean, but people will, before it exists, people will of course further and say, "Oh my God, that like he doesn't give a shit about pDAI anymore. He's gonna die." Stuff, how
Right,
everyone
right,
is,
right.
right?
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
I'm sure if I were Richard Hart, and I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm way less smart. I'm much, but look, no. But
I'm
if I understand the guy, that's what I mean. If I
Yeah.
understand the guy, like I would try to FUD it right before, like I would I would try to
Interesting.
FUD it in a good way. FUD it like I'm building something, and people would FUD themselves. Like not him, he doesn't FUD stuff. It just like people, he never FUDs anything that he does. Like with Hex, he didn't FUD Hex. He just said, look, the market has chosen. He's literally just saying something, like stating something, like everybody goes nuts. It's the same thing. Like I'm building
yeah,
a
yeah.
stablecoin. The market goes nuts.
The
I'm-
PHEX
you understand?
EHEX
That's what I'm saying.
competition. Yeah, it's actually it's healthy in a way. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Okay, that'd be interesting. We'll have to do a deep dive as we get into there more later.
Yeah, because like, look, like everybody's saying that pDAI is Richard's stablecoin because he's in control of Maker in a sense, and that is true. But it is not his stablecoin, right? Like it's a stablecoin of PulseChain. Let's say I view it as stablecoin of PulseChain. It's not really his stablecoin. It is his stablecoin in the sense that he built like all the P coins are his coins, right?
But he
But what I'm
adopted
saying is that it like he could try to build something from scratch, right? Like
Right,
using
right.
his ideas, like for like. What I'm saying is that that is a possibility, and that would be an important battle test for pDAI, right? Not saying
Yeah.
that is a bad thing. That would be at the end it would be positive for pDAI, right? Because that coin would use pDAI as collateral for sure. That's what I'm saying. But again, this is
Interesting.
an idea super far fetched, right? This is not likely going to happen. Like it's me just speculating at the highest level.
Right.
Okay. For now, yeah, pDAI is Richard's like stablecoin. That's it.
Chat got heated on that one. That's all right. We're speculating. That's what this stream was about.
Yeah,
We're
sure.
looking into the future to answer a lot of questions that we all have about pDAI. So this has been a very cool stream. And yeah, Sin himself is working on a stablecoin and has a stablecoin based off Hex. So he is very knowledgeable about stablecoins. How is
That's right.
Hex?
I try to be, but there's so much to know.
Yeah, and that's why he understands the price of Hex. Do you think Hex is going to run after everything else, or do you think it's going to run together with everything? Because I had a feeling it's going to be the last to run, but what do I know?
That's a good point. To my surprise, what pumped the highest already is Ink. I thought that Ink was going to be the last one to run, right?
Okay.
So I think you might be right. I think X could be the last one to really pump that, like to
Okay.
like to insane levels after everything else pumps. So I agree with that logic. I'm not sure how much probability I can give it, like maybe 50%, but I kind of agree with that.
Okay. Yeah, smash that like button if you're tuned in. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And I have felt from the beginning Hex or Ink was going to be one of the biggest runners because of the way he ignored it. And also, It has high liquidity, which to me
Exactly.
indicates that it'll be one of the first ones to get put on most exchanges. And has no connection to the OA, which is really interesting.
And look, it's high decentralized liquidity, and this is the very important part. It's liquidity from the users. It's not the
Yes.
richest liquidity; it's
It's
user
amazing.
liquidity.
I don't think people
Okay?
understand how amazing and incredible ink could
Yeah.
be to just crypto in general.
Yeah, I
Because
love. Look,
it
ink
has,
for me, it's. I like ink as much as I like X. To be honest, I think X is like X. Of course, is like the true innovation, but ink is from a perspective of why holding ink. I think it's really amazing in the sense it can be a truly an important part of the PulseChain ecosystem because it is what holds the people to the liquidity, right?
yes,
It's what
yes.
takes people to the liquidity, let's say.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be extremely important. Extremely
I don't
important.
think people understand how powerful that is. Right now, market makers are doing that in crypto. We're doing that in DeFi. Ink is just going to be a powerhouse, and it has to be. It has to be a powerhouse. Ink and pDAI have to be incredible powerhouses beyond what I think anybody is giving them credit for. I don't think anybody quite realizes. I think that's what's going to happen. People are going to realize what ink is, and that's when the price will just go vertical for a while, absolutely vertical, because you just said it's DeFi liquidity from the users. There's no market makers in there. There's nobody involved in that. It's just people. It's real crypto, yeah, it's incredible.
I mean, there are. I agree with you, and there are also good questions and good points here in the chat. I mean,
The
regarding
PHEX,
sorry,
which
go on,
question?
sorry.
Which question?
Regarding the PX stake coming out
Yeah,
in
it was
2027,
Trons. Yeah,
yeah,
coming.
yeah, exactly. I mean that's a good question regarding the stakes. If you emergency and stake or not. I mean it really depends on you, right? Like each person will make their own decisions. It depends on the stake, right? If it's a super long stake and you might lose most of it, I'm not sure. Probably not. I don't know, but if you think you can time the top. Try to be my guest, but don't come complaining if you fail, right? Because that's the point of X is for you not to try to time the top, right? Is to have
Right.
staking ladders, etc. Right? So I'm not sure if you think you can time it. Okay, good. And if you can buy a lower, awesome. But if not, you learn the valuable lesson. So you can win both ways, right?
Right.
If you don't win financially, you can win through the lessons that you learn, right? So it's fine.
Absolutely. Well said. Todd says, I think Richard wants people to know the chain will succeed without him.
Yes.
If he's always
Yes,
involved and
I
something
agree.
happens, people may panic and leave the chain.
Exactly.
100%,
I agree.
100%. And great insight. Well said, Todd. He also says amazing info. Thanks. Yeah, man, that's 100% correct. So I think a period of him being absent makes a lot of sense. And maybe for the rest of the
Exactly.
cycle, at least, like you're suggesting, or longer. Let's see what happens. Sin, it's been absolutely amazing chatting with you. We've been full. This has been a heavy stream. We've covered a lot of really amazing speculation. And chat, thanks for all your amazing questions. You guys have been great as always. We will definitely do another deep dive again as we climb. Maybe when we hit that 10-cent mark, it may happen faster than you realize.
Next week, that will be fun. That will be fun.
Hey,
will be
watching
fun,
Bitcoin, I'm just
as
like,
well.
yeah. When alts are ready to go because they're going to be so pent up, it's going to be absolute nuts. It's going to be just nuts.
one last point
One
of
last,
discussion
yeah.
because I know that people love this. When do you think is going to be the all-time high? Like in terms of two things: timing wise, of course, and value wise.
All-time high for
Bitcoin just Bitcoin. Bitcoin is enough
this cycle.
because for the cycle.
So, I have two kind of theories. One is we get a hiccup and the price comes down, and then people really believe, yep, we knew that was the end of the bull run, that's it, and maybe we have a hiccup for a little bit, and then we run up again and hit some crazy number, and the bull run continues into 2026 with some delay of 3-6 months or whatever that is of some, we had some downward. My other idea is that maybe they just crank this and we have the bull run end faster than people realize, and it just ends here in 2025. Maybe spring, maybe we go to, who knows, maybe February, or maybe we go all the way to March, April, May into the summer, and then it's done. Because there's definitely, we are touching the USDT, I think, dominance chart. If you look, we are right at support. Obviously, we can bounce around down there for a little bit. We're also topped out on the monthly for BTC. We're almost tapped out. Now, could we just break through and go higher? Yeah, it's possible, but you got to remember, do you think institutions, because those are big buyers, right, ETFs and what have you, or what's piling up into this right now, retail doesn't have that much money, whether people realize it or not. And they need to pump liquidity again and reverse things, which I know they'll do, but it doesn't seem like they're quite ready to do it yet. So either this run doesn't last until 2026 and we end in 2025, or we have a little break and everyone thinks it's over until the next bull run in 2027, and then we pick up again, with some delay, almost like we had in COVID or something, or not like that, but whatever. And everyone thinks this was the high, but then we come back up again. It's really tough to say when the all-time high could be, to be totally honest. I'm just open to anything at this point. Obviously, we know the case will probably be dropped if things move forward as it seems. I mean, Gensler's leaving in December. I don't know who's going to spearhead it and push forward with it, so it'll probably be dropped. So you can expect us to pump pretty hard. And maybe we just go into the spring, and maybe that's it.
I think so. I think it's going to be March, April, the latest.
Yeah.
We're gonna top like maybe 200K or around that. And then then it's going to be the alt times, but I'm not sure if we're going to have that like 2021, right? If we're going to have that run up again, that was fairly uncommon, I would say. So, but there's also something that I'm feeling which is strange. Like this time in 2021, when Bitcoin broke the all-time high and it was pumping like crazy, everyone was talking about it, like news, people in general. This time, nobody, like Web Summit is going on. Like in Europe, Web Summit is pretty big. Like compared to the States, everything in Europe is like tiny, right? But okay, for the European mindset, I mean, it's pretty significant. And like it's a tech thing, it's a tech summit, like for technology. And like I didn't go this year, but I know a lot of people that went, and they told me that like nobody's talking about crypto, right? And I was like, that is interesting, right? Because it's fairly uncommon. So we might have a second pump as well, like we did in 2021, right? History doesn't repeat, but rhymes, right?
But it rhymes. It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah. But I think the first stop is going to be March, April. Yeah, I think the latest.
If we go that far, that's very possible. And BTC just pumps higher than most people realize. Very similar to what we talked about with pDAI going well past $1 and exhausting all the sellers who just completely capitulate. And that's what's happening with BTC. And that's what's going to happen is BTC.
I think if Bitcoin goes like to 200K now in April or something, like until March or April, it means that there will be like loads of people like selling, going nuts, and loads of people like regretting not buying, right? So if Bitcoin drops like 30-50%, then and in the meantime alts pump a lot, right? Like, and I'm assuming during this time PulseChain is pumping, but the real pump I think it will come after that, right? After Bitcoin drops and Ethereum pumps a lot, and then PulseChain goes absolutely ballistic. The last 100x or 50x is going to be during that time, right? But until then, it's going to be pumping, right? And I'm sure that Richard, as we get closer to the SEC decision, I think Richard will start pumping this like properly, right? Like I think, like so far he has been testing the waters, right? Pumping a bit, like allowing people to sell, pumping, allowing people to sell, pumping, allowing people to sell. But now that the tides are finally, I think, turning, and the SEC will be like the last drop, let's say, and everything will overflow after it. Like he'll keep pumping and people won't be selling. Like we've seen Rachel Rackham, the guy, like the guy from the movie, the guy from Substratum. like even he is coming back and like,
came
I
back.
want to pump and I want to help DeFi projects. Like, yeah.
Right.
So I mean, I sent him a message like, help us, bro. Come on, drop some liquidity, bro. Next one, come on, bro. No, but even he's changing like his mind, right? Uh, so I mean, we could really see like sellers like exhausting and like PulseChain starts like pumping properly, because I think Richard will start dropping money when he sees that there are no sellers, like to take advantage of his money, right?
Right.
So yeah, yeah,
Yeah. This will be interesting. So yeah, everybody hang on. The pump, when it comes, is going to be, whether it happens sooner and we have this bull run right here in 2025, or we have some little delay for a few months and it goes into the end of 2025, beginning of 2026. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be insane, because it has to be, as you see with Bitcoin, is already letting you know how euphoric things are going to get. So, and because of how so many people are building up shorts and not understanding market euphoria and are just seeing data and getting too caught up in that, you can understand why market makers will also run it up much higher than people think, because they have to exhaust sellers and destroy all those shorts. So when it does happen, you should be positioned well and correctly, and just be ready to take advantage of it, because I
exactly.
think it's going to happen quick. I think it's going to happen
Yeah,
crazy,
me too.
and it'll be just like BTC. It's letting you
Yeah.
know how crazy it's going to be. So PulseChain's going to go
The
vertical.
first, the first 100x are super um, like the first 10x are like take some time. The second 10x are super quick, and then the last ones are like are even quicker. So like pay attention. You're still in time like to take advantage of for the first 10x, the first one. So yeah, enjoy it while it lasts, because when it comes fast, and it goes fast as well. So
Yep.
don't be looking at your portfolio and like showing your friends and family and sharing on Twitter. Just be selling, right? Because sell a little bit, right? Don't take some money off the table, pay your bills, buy your wife and kids like presents, all that sort of stuff, right? Don't be naive and just hold everything, like sell it a bit, in my opinion, of course, in my non-financial opinion, of course. But yeah, can I, before we end the stream, can I chill my project a little bit? Is it okay?
Yeah, man. Go right ahead. You guys
Nice.
stick
So
around. Guys, smash that like button,
yeah.
subscribe to the channel, and listen to this. He's built a stable coin on Hex, based on Hex.
Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, built X1 crypto. It's a stablecoin backed by T-shares. When you deposit into the vault, you're minting a T-share, a 5555 stake. On this first version that is live, we already have 12 million hex, around close to 12 million hex deposited. 973 shares. So in USD value, it's 280k, and at maturity it will be close to $1 million already. And the LTV, so the loan to value, is actually pretty low. It's 0 to 21. So this means it's over collateralized by 21x. So yeah, it's safe. The peg is it's around 0.8. But it does have a liquidation, so if the price of X drops a lot, the people's positions can get liquidated, and so there will be Hex1 removed from the market. We're now building the second version. Is it okay if I let me send you a screenshot that you can share if you
Yeah.
if you can.
Yeah, you can
Let me
share
send
your
you-
screen. I think there's a thing for it.
I can.
Right?
Oh yeah, I can. Give me just a
I think
second.
so.
Let me just open. I didn't even prepare this. 1 second, because me and the guys, the team is getting it's growing. We're already 5 people working on this, so it's
Okay.
it's pretty. Yeah, it's growing well. Now we have a very good designer now that joined, and let me show you some of the new V2 designs that look, in my
Okay,
opinion,
do
they
it.
look pretty amazing.
Do it. Let's see if this
Where is
button does
this?
it. Will this do it?
Yeah. Where is
Are you
this?
trying to share right
there
now?
we go. No, I'm just opening the.
Oh, you're opening.
the,
Okay. Let me know when you're ready. I think.
Just opening. Yeah, let me just share the screen. Can I share the window? Wait.
I'll play this really quick while you do that. I'm running the restroom. Be right back. Oh, we're losing. I got a few tricks up my sleeve. I got some more cool shit coming. I'll tell you about it.
You may well do. Everybody does. But,
Yeah.
you know,
No, I have more than most. I'm the founder of a $50 billion cryptocurrency. I have more than most.
Yeah, you can brag about that. I mean, that's fine.
So this idea that you can make absolutely insane, amazing changes in the world by just turning the right screws, but knowing where those screws are, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So it gets framed like, you made too much money for too little work. But in fact, it's the opposite. Making a lot of money with little work means you have little overhead, which means you have little negative price externality. Look at Zcash. Zcash price is doomed and has been doomed for years. Why? Because they got a building of 80 guys doing something.
I still prefer maximally effective on-ramping. I still don't like ads that don't work. And most ads do not work. I don't think billboards work. I don't think sports advertising works. I don't think race cars work. I got some other tricks I ain't gonna tell you about. I'm gonna let them shoot themselves in the foot first so they can't counteract the counterplay. But like, I see things going wrong in the news so much, it makes me want to grit my teeth.
You must have no expectation of profit from the work of others. I'm just telling you what I see on chain. So it seems like whatever may control the sacrifice keys is a fiat stablecoin maximalist, except for HEX. It has a lot of HEX, it has a lot of stablecoin.
All right.
Hey man, sorry about that. My laptop crashed. I think the stream was just too hot. Couldn't handle it.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah.
All right. Did you get the share screen?
Yeah, let me share. Sorry.
Okay. Let's see how this.
Are you gonna break again? No, you're not. Okay. Sure, it can be this one. Can you see my screen?
Yes. So let me pull that up.
Can you see it big, like in big or small?
Hang on. I think I hit this button and then
See how it looks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boom. Okay. If I open it, do you see it in big? No.
Yeah. 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 It's
Yeah.
big.
Okay. Yeah, so this is basically the how it is going to look, the second version basically. So in terms of like visuals, it's going to be way better. It's going to look way better. So more visually enticing, let's say. So this is just examples of like the information is here is wrong, right? It still has the old name of the old stablecoin. The new one, it's going to have a different ticker. So this is just some of the stuff that it has, right? So when you build a position, you get an NFT. These are not the NFTs, okay? This is just placeholders, of course. And the NFTs are linked to an insurance, as you can see here. The insurance basically allows you to set the time you have to mint after the T-share matures, and the T-shares on this case are for short-term T-shares, so like up to 2 years basically. The max duration is 2 years. So yeah, it's going to be more flexible. And the mechanics that we added are such that it's going to be more similar to other stablecoins like Liquid, for example, and even DAI. So the peg will most likely hold because the liquidations are way more flexible. So with the new mechanics basically. So yeah, this is basically just some of how it's going to look, just to let you know that it's being built and it looks a little bit better. And this is the new logo basically. I'm not sure if this is the final version. Probably it's not. I have it here. Sorry. Can you see it?
Cool. Yeah. The
Yeah,
pepper, the hot pepper, the hex logo.
Yeah,
That's
it's
pretty
a pity. Exactly. So yeah, basically that's it. I think we're gonna be able to release this year still in December. We're going to audit next, like at the end of this month, beginning of December. We're going to audit the main contracts. We're still going to build other contracts that we're going to add. The farms are already done. We're going to have a very enticing new feature for the rewards distribution, because this version has it has more fees in different places, let's say. So the fees are going to be collected, and all the fees are not going to be distributed to the holders. The fees are going to be put into PulseX farms, and the incentive token is going to be distributed through a jackpot. Okay, through various actually jackpots. So you're going to be able to play slots. For example, and participate in the reward distribution, and you can do that by converting exit into credits, into jackpot credits, basically. And you can do that with the exit incentive token. So you can farm it for free and play the games and win a portion of the yield that is being generated by the fees. So it's a little bit more complex, but I think it's going to be way more fun and engaging for the end user, right? And we already have one of the games, which is a slot machine build. I already tried it a little bit, and it's quite fun to play. So I think people are going to enjoy it. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Cool, bro.
And this I'm not sure if people understand this, but this is a perpetual system, right? This is a perpetual fee system, because the fees are never leaving PulseX, right? The farms, the ink farms. So they're going to be generating ink forever. Okay, ink that is generated is going to be given to the participants, but not the fees, right? So this is a perpetual system.
Say that again.
Yes. The fees generated by the protocol are perpetual, because they're adding to the fees are being added to PulseX, to the PulseX farms. Then these fees that are being paired together, some of the fees are sold for other coins, of course, so that they can be paired, and but those fees, the principal is never sold. The principal stays there forever, generating ink.
Got you.
Yeah,
man, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. I think people are gonna love it. Yeah.
As the price tax goes up and a lot of excitement comes back in, I have no doubt it's going to be a lot of hype.
I think we're going to be the first protocol because this version also has borrowing and lending, so you can deposit the new stablecoin. I'm not going to say the ticker now. This is for the next one, for the next 3 months. I'll tell you guys the new ticker, but this is a cool one.
Cool.
Yeah, but wait, because you can deposit the stablecoin, but you can also deposit other coins. And one of the coins that we're adding from the start is pDAI, actually. So you'll be able to collateralize pDAI. Yeah.
Nice.
Of course,
nice.
You need to pay attention, because it's going to be volatile, right? So
Yeah,
you need to pay attention to the collateral ratios and everything, but you'll be able to do it. So that's
So this is a
fun.
great example for you guys to see that there's going to be protocols that are going to pop up that are going to utilize a pegged pDAI. So already you see builders are anticipating it. They're already building. So when you think about will people be selling, and so yeah, of course some people will, but in general, there's going to be a lot of incentive to utilize a pegged pDAI in the future. So there's going to be a lot less pressure than you think as we get up in those high numbers. So yeah, I look forward to that.
Awesome.
And Sin, I'll put all the links down below. Everybody,
Sure.
go check it out, HEX One Protocol, and put your comments down below. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. And Sin,
thanks for inviting me, bro. It was an awesome stream. Thanks, Saint. It was amazing.
It was great, man. I loved it. It was great diving in and speculating and talking about all this stuff. A lot of people are thinking about a lot of the things we just talked about in this video, and I think we'll have more things to talk about soon as the price gets, as you said, pops past 10 cents. It's going to get really, really interesting.
Couldn't agree more, man.
Yeah, we'll do it again soon. So, great seeing you, bro.
Awesome.
Later.
Bye-bye.